Hope your week is off to a good start. Hope you had a good weekend. Happy late Father's Day to everyone out there. Hope you had a nice Father's Day weekend. I don't know, maybe you had some time to spend with the family over the weekend, which was probably great. Maybe you got outside and enjoyed some sunshine. Boy, it was hot here over the weekend, but we had a nice weekend over here, and but we got work to do. Today we're going to ship out all the orders from the weekend. The last time I shipped was actually Friday around noontime, and then we headed out of town for the weekend. We went to Winston-Salem and spent time with the fam. So I have 3 days worth of shipping going out the door for you, 72 hours of sales. So we got 40 plus orders, maybe close to 50 orders going out the door. So it's going to be a little bit of a longer live. So get yourself something to drink, buckle in, buckle your seatbelt, whatever it is. We are going to get started here. We got orders on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari going out the door today. There's an Amazon I forgot about too. I'll get an Amazon going out the door today too. But anyway, welcome in. Hope you're having a great start to your week. If you haven't said hello down below in the chat, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear about your weekend. I'd love to hear about sales. What's moving and grooving for you? How are things going? If you have questions, of course, I am here for the questions. I love the questions. But first, I got a question for you. What are we going to start? What are we going to ship first? We're going to ship everything, but are we going to ship eBay, Poshmark, or Mercari first today? You choose. Just let me know down below in the chat. A whole bunch of orders going out. So I'm going to try to move and groove today and stay on task. And your job is to try to get me off task with questions, comments, and all that stuff. I love the conversation, love talking shop. So looking forward to spending some time with you this afternoon. I want to hear about your sales, want to hear about what's going on in your biz. I do this live every Monday, early afternoon, just a way to give you a good, honest glimpse into my world as a full-time reseller. Been running this business out of the house for the past 7 years. It'll be 8 years in like 2 weeks. So that's kind of crazy. And it's been full-time for 5.5 years now. And I've been doing this live for, several years at this point. I'm not sure exactly how many. We got tactical finds in the house. Did you see the 3-pound glitch for eBay packages that weigh less but have cost are cheaper at 3 pounds? Oh, gotcha. I did notice that actually. I had something go out it was really cheap. It was like 5 something bucks for something that was it was a 4-pound rate. That's interesting. So what's the scoop with that? Am I going to get charged extra for that later, or did I just get a deal? What is up, LM Creates? How are you? Welcome in. Good to have you. We got Motivated Mama in the house. Mama says eBay first. We'll ship out eBay first. Going through all the shipping labels right now, getting these all separated. We are going to start with the first order, the oldest order, which came in Friday afternoon, and we're going to work all the way up into today. I already had some good orders going out the door today. The theme for today is that there is no theme. There's some summertime stuff in here, but there's actually a fair amount of things that you would consider fall items too. Got one blazer going out the door, corduroys, a corduroy shirt, a down puffer jacket with a faux fur hood, like some heavy, like tactical style pants, camo shirts. Of course, there's golf polos and stuff, but it's kind of all over the place. Interesting weekend of sales. It was actually a really good weekend of sales. I'm happy with it. What's a good comeback for those that say we are stealing for the poor when sourcing from thrift stores? I don't know. I would just ignore people who don't understand your business. What is it? 17% of adults in the U.S. are business owners. I don't think most people sort of understand our business. They also don't understand like how businesses like thrift stores work. I would say good luck to Goodwill of Northwest North Carolina if there weren't resellers going to their store every single day, spending hundreds of dollars instead of people who are walking out there and spending like $627 after tax. If they want to make a living off people going in there and spending $627 after tax, good luck to you. Believe me, they love us going in there every single day and dropping $100+ sometimes hundreds of dollars. So people just don't understand business. If we weren't going into these Goodwills and we weren't going into these, these other nonprofits, how would they raise money for their missions? Like, we're literally contributing money towards their missions. Otherwise, the stuff all goes to the landfill and their mission doesn't raise money. They don't employ people. It just doesn't make sense. All business is good business. How many sales did you have over the weekend? 40 some odd sales over the weekend. It was a really good weekend. How about you, Samuel? Hello from Delaware. First time making the live. Welcome in. My kid's fault. I like that name. That's funny. Appreciate you hopping on board and joining the live. Let me know if you have any questions, but I'd love to hear from you. What sort of stuff do you resell? Or if you're not reselling, are you thinking about reselling? Where are you at? Share down below about your journey if you're comfortable doing so. What size poly bags for winter jackets and stuff? All my tools for reselling, thanks for asking. It's a good time to drop this. Everything I'm going to use to ship today is linked right there down below in the chat. So at that link, I have all my shipping supplies, everything right down to this workbench that I'm working on, my laptop that you're sitting on, this monitor right here, all my lighting tools, the shelves behind me, everything that I use for my business that I also recommend to other people is right there in that list right there, recommended reseller supplies. And it will give you the different sizes that I use, and it will show you like what I ship, like blazers and suits in versus all that. So all those direct links are right there. So it'll take you to the exact products that I order too. So I just use that list to reorder. So figured I'd share it with you so y'all can reorder stuff too, or find what you're looking for. So good question right there. Blackhawk. Let's jump into this. Our first order is actually an international order, and it's a rugby shirt. I actually sold 2 rugby shirts over the weekend. And, rugby shirt to me is more of especially a long sleeve rugby. These are like heavy. It's more of a fall style to me, but this one's going international. This is an LL Bean men's size large. This sold on a best offer of $25.99. Rugbies are hot, and I think they're going to be really, really hot this summer. This rugby sold fast. I just listed, I guess 28 days. That's still pretty quick. So 28-day sale right there. Wasn't expecting this to sell literally in the heat of the summer, but here we are. So we'll get this one out the door. I don't know where exactly this is going to, but on eBay, because all I'm doing is shipping this to an address in Glendale Heights, Illinois, and eBay takes care of shipping it the rest of the way internationally. But if I click on the order details, I can see exactly where the order is going. It'll give me the address. I just have to do a couple of clicks. It says show recipient address. It's going to Australia. I guess that makes sense, sending a rugby shirt to Australia. I spent $5 for this at a thrift store. It sold for $25.99. And the buyer paid me $6.95 shipping. I have nothing to do with the international shipping. eBay collects that money. I just have to buy the shipping label to get it to Glendale Heights, Illinois. And that shipping label cost me $7.22 because this is going out at a 2-pound rate. So little shipping a rugby shirt to, I don't know, when I think about Australia, I think about rugby. So that makes a lot of sense. My profit on this after fees, eBay is going to pay me $18.47. So that's after fees. That's after that $7.22 shipping label. I paid $5, so that means my profit is $13.47. This is literally like the core of my business. Buy stuff for $5, sell it for $25. That is most of my sales. Of course, we're going to have items in here that sold for over $100. I'm just looking around. I see a $70 sale over there. That's like a $55 sale. That's like a $70 sale. So there's higher sales in here too, but the core of the business is 5 into 25 for me. That's a very, very common thing. And is like sort of the foundation, I guess, of my business. So out the door there. What else we got in the live? Thanks for saying hi, everybody. Fit check. What's up? This is an Orvis like ultra white shirt. And I'm wearing some kind of shorts. I don't know what the brand is. And I'm wearing socks with chacos if you care, Surf's Up. We had 10 sales, made over $300 in profit. RGV2, chance I let 8 sales on Vinted. Nice. Cranking over there on Vinted. Nice little weekend over there, Samuel. I like that. Thanks for sharing. The problem is that public has been deceived by the nonprofits and just assume that this clothing is going directly to them or that they just want it to be in. Yeah, maybe there's some deception there. I haven't really thought about it that way, but that's one way to think of it for sure. A lot of the nonprofits I go into, people shopping in there are using a donated card to get free clothes. Interesting. I sell men's and women's, but never Blue Hens apparel. That's funny. Okay. I brought you in from, maybe you caught one of those Winston-Salem videos. What is up, Kirby? How are you? How's the fam, man? What's going on? Are you back at it? Are you 100% back at it, or you have like a revised schedule, or are you not back at it? Let me know, like, what's going on over there. Hope things are good, man. All right. Next order is going out the door. Great sale right here. I showed you this. I listed this just last week. It took, I think, 3 days to sell. Nope, it took 4 days to sell. So look at this Wrangler. I don't pick up all Wrangler, but this pattern is just fantastic. So the keywords I used here, well, I'll just read you the whole item title. Wrangler Western Pearl Snap Shirt, men's large, blue Aztec Southwest striped cowboy. So a whole bunch of keywords in there. And this thing sold in 4 days. Full asking price $39.99 on this one. I did a post. It was a photo post, and I shared with you 5 items that I just like after dinner. I was like, I'm going to list. I get some things in my pile that are hot sellers. I'm going to go and just list 5 things real quick after dinner, get these things moving because I think they'll sell over the weekend. And 2 of those items did sell over the weekend. This was one of them. But I asked y'all, what do you think would sell first? There was a poncho, a rowback, 2 Wranglers, and a really cool polo. The Wrangler sold first, the poncho sold second. The other ones haven't sold yet. So most people voted for the poncho or the polo Ralph Lauren because it was a really cool polo. But it was Wrangler first, $39.99 on this one. So I paid $5 at a thrift store. So this is a better profit item for sure. Better above average. We'll see what we got here. So after shipping and fees, eBay's going to pay me out $29.83. I paid $5, so that's a $25 and change profit right there. You can also subtract my shipping materials if you want to. It's about 15 cents per package, and that includes the shipping label. That includes this little thank you sticker that I put on. That includes my thank you card that I include in every order, and of course the clear poly bag that everything's stored in. So it's about 15 cents on average per order. Some more, some less, but you understand how averages work. Next up is an order for a Stitch golf polo. I had 3 of these. This is the 3rd one to sell. The other 2 sold for like around $19. This one sold for full asking price $23.99. There's the logo right there, Stitch Golf. Not an awesome golf brand, but I would say like kind of mediocre selling golf brand. But this is the time of year when you're actually going to be selling those mediocre golf brands. This is a classic example of something that would slow down over the summer, especially because it's just a plain solid blue. There's like nothing especially interesting or rare or unique about it. So the reason why these tend to sell a little bit slower is because you'll have a lot of competition on just like a plain solid blue polo. Like no one's going to fall in love with it. There's just so many other ones that they could go out and buy. So even though people do buy blue golf polos that are solid, the reason it's hard to sell them online is because there's just so much of that, right? There's nothing about this shirt that is particularly standout. So a solid blue color like that. And something like this is going to be a kind of a lower sell-through rate item in most cases, but there's exceptions to sort of every generalization right there. Fairly new to my area, and I just found out today that one of my local Goodwills has $1 Mondays. That's awesome. So the rule with the Goodwills here in the Goodwills of Northwest North Carolina are no sales. That's the rule. They don't like sales. They do like 2 sales a year. It's like one in the spring and one in the fall. In the fall, they'll blow out. It'll be like short sleeve shirts and swim trunks and shorts will be on sale. I don't even know if they do short sleeve shirts. It might just be swim trunks and shorts. And then in the spring, they'll do it's like jeans and winter jackets will be 50% off, and it's for like 3 days or 4 days, and that's it. There's no color tags. There's no, fill a bag sale. There's no dollar day. There's nothing. It's just like they'll do 50% off the out of season stuff. They'll do it for like a weekend in the spring and a weekend in the fall. What's up? Nick Smith is in the house. How are you, brother? Morning from the hot desert. I believe it's hot. We were down in Winston-Salem over the weekend visiting fam for Father's Day. Hope you had a nice Father's Day, Nick. And it was hot down there. As we were coming home, it was 89 degrees on 40. I took a photo. So there's on Route 40, you get to Old Fort, and then you just go straight up as you go west into the mountains towards Black Mountain and Asheville and home. And I took a photo. I said, I texted to some buddies. I said, in the next 5 minutes, we're gonna lose 6 degrees. And so it went from 89. It actually went 89 to 85. So we lost 4 degrees in just like 5 minutes of driving straight uphill. So it's always nice to get back home, and especially on a hot day in the summer. I love getting back up the mountain where it's a little cooler. Everything's good. Getting back to normal. Numbers could definitely be better, but glad to have spent time with the family. That's awesome. Glad to hear it, Kirby. And that's why you do your own thing. So you have the flexibility to do that. Isn't that the thing, What did I miss? MSG's in the house. What's up, Salt? How are you? Excellent. Was on vacation last week in Vegas. Vegas is cheap this time of year, ain't it? That's awesome. Hope you had a good time out there. Hope you had a good time. Next up, we got how are sales, Nick? Colors & Co. Actually sold a lot of Colors & Co. this weekend, which is a really good sign because they were kind of like slowing down. I bought like something like 85 or 90 of these back in February, and they've been slowly selling. I don't want to say slowly selling, but they've been, I don't know, steady pace slowing. This weekend there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought there might have been 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there is 5. 5 of them total sold. So this is the first one going out the door. Nice pattern on this. Good brand to look for, both new and used. This one's brand new with tags. Sold on a best offer. This was a nifty best offer, so $38.69. So as you've heard me say a million times before, my cross-lister Nifty also has some built-in automation tools. One of those automation tools is that it sends offers automatically to people who watch items on eBay and like them on Poshmark and Mercari. So 10 minutes after Juan Carlos liked or watched this item on eBay, Nifty sent a 10% off offer to try to close the deal, and it did. I really love that tool. It's such a, it's like every e-com company is doing that. It's called an abandoned cart. This is really what you're talking about. Somebody showed interest in an item, but they didn't give you money for it. But you know that they like it and they want it. So the idea with that auto offer tool is to like close that deal. It's also to beat out the competition. So those of you like people like Kirby who don't use Nifty, I'm just picking on you, Kirby, but who don't use Nifty, Kirby might say, I like being in control of my offers. I don't want any machine to do the offers for me. I like to be in control. Well, great. Kirby probably noticed, he might have had the same shirt, and he probably noticed that Juan Carlos watched this item like 6 hours after he did it, which was also 5 hours after I got the sale, right? So you're competing with other people, and that's the thing. It's a very common item on eBay right now. So I like to have every possible tool at my disposal to compete and win and sell all this stuff and sell it as fast as I possibly can. So $38.69 on that sale, brand new with tags, Colors & Co. Next up is a Tommy Bahama. Y'all, if you have any questions, get those questions down below in the chat. There are no stupid questions. I love answering them. Nice Tommy Bahama here. I thought this would get a little bit more money. It's not just plaid. It's got like a really cool palm tree pattern. We'll have to show you a picture. So 100% silk, bright, bold colors. The plaid's not super, super cool. I'm going to share my screen and show you the picture of this. The reason I thought this would get more money is because, let me just share this. The beautiful shirt. If you look at that, let's see, quick here. Look at this pattern down at the bottom. Isn't that awesome? With those palm trees, very unique with like the plaid down into like the palm trees. I thought this would get a little bit more money. Felt like a $30 to $35 Tommy Bahama. It sat around a little bit, and I just said, you know what? I got an offer for $22. I paid $5. Let's move it, get some profit in the door, get it gone. Sometimes you just got to do that. I'm trying to be better at doing that instead of holding out and saying somebody's going to give me $32 for the shirt. I was like, you know what? 22's profit. We'll get it out the door. We'll clear out some space. We'll get some more money in the bank account. We'll go out shopping again this week and get some more stuff. And 22's fine. For me, I'll tell you exactly what my profit is on this item. After shipping and fees, eBay's going to pay me out $15.13. So I'm going to make $10 profit on this, and we can move on. It had its chance to sell. It was listed for a while. I'll tell you how long it was listed for. It was listed for 1.5 years. So it had its chance to sell. It even had a full summer to sell. It had a full cruise season in the winter time to sell too. I mean, it just didn't sell. So this is going to Los Angeles, California, and sometimes it's inexplainable. If I bought this shirt again next week, I'd probably list it for like $34.99 or $33.99 and take offers. And who knows? Next time it could sell. Maybe it's just a different size would have made it happen. But you just don't know sometimes. And I'm trying to get better and better at just moving stuff. Just because I think it's worth $30 doesn't mean someone's going to pay for it. And I might have to wait another 1.5 years. Who knows? So out the door, $10 and change profit. Let's keep on moving. I told you I sold a lot of these Colors & Co. We got 2 more, a bundle going out the door. What do we got here? Francis, how are you, Francis? Welcome in. Good to have you. Always appreciate having you here. I missed a bunch of comments. A little glitchy here on my comments thing. Adam is in the house. What's up, Adam? How are you? Good morning from San Jose. What's up, Sibby? How are you? Side hustle Sib. My sales are a bit slow, but I've had my business on the back burner for a bit as I was focused on pickleball, poker, and work. Nick lives the life, man. Vacation in Vegas, pickleball, poker. He's probably in the pool right now, I bet. Now, he works hard, but that's awesome. Great sales this weekend. 2 Browning gun cases, $10 into 400. Nice, Swiss. Nice sale. Thanks for sharing that. Love it. Followed your advice. I saw in a video from Wrangler G's and bought some that sold in less than a week for full asking price, 4 days, I believe. This newbie was excited. That's awesome, motivated mama. If you can learn the cream of the crop, the good stuff from those really common brands like Wrangler, you will never go hungry a day in your life, and because that stuff is just so common. So that's awesome that you found some good Wrangler jeans. I don't buy all Wrangler jeans, but there's very specific ones that I pick up and they sell really well. But there's so many people out there who just brand shop and they're like, Wrangler is trash. Every time I do a post or a video about Wrangler, people say Wrangler doesn't sell, nobody buys that. But it's absolutely crazy talk because it is such a common brand. So many people buy it. And if you just learn the ones that people tend to pay a little bit more money for, you can make so much money because they're so common. People want to learn like the really high-end rare BOLO brands. People want to talk about Kuji and Jenkos, these things that you might find once a year. I would rather know a good model from a common brand like Wrangler or Columbia that I can find 25, 30, 40 times this year rather than like one unicorn that I'll find once a year. People on social media, they want the crazy bolos. They want like all this, like, that. To me, I mean, I can't even tell you how many Wranglers I can't tell you how many Wranglers I've sold. To me, I would rather sell 1 billion Wranglers a year. I've already sold 28 Wranglers a year. What would I rather sell? 28 Wranglers, and one we just shipped out for $40, by the way. 28 Wranglers or 1 pair of Jenkos? I'm taking 28 Wranglers, and it's only June. I'll probably sell another 28 before the end of the year. 50-something Wranglers is way better than 1 unicorn pair of Jenkos. There's just no way. It's just more profit, more money. So if you can learn stuff like that, motivated mama, you're going to be just fine. Was unfamiliar with the brand Cuts Clothing till I watched your video last week. Found a hooded sweatshirt and pants at Uptown Cheapskates for $1 blowout. Nice, man. Yeah, I found Cuts Clothing. You might have been watching the video when I was in Roanoke, and I was at Plato's Closet, and they had them just priced a little bit too high, but those pants are really good sellers. Sweatshirts actually too, those are good finds. The shirts, like the t-shirts or the Henleys, they don't sell quite like they used to, but the pants, very, very good still. Afternoon, Scott. How are you, brother? Good to have you. I put my eBay store on a 10% off sale, moving a lot of older stuff, just taking offers for the old items. Nice. Get it moving. I like it, Francis. Glad that you're getting some momentum over there. Candy is in the house. Welcome, Candy. Appreciate all your comments on videos and posts lately. I notice it. I appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. I've been doing some bins sourcing to get my costs down, and it's been going great so far. That's nice, Kirby. You are a better man than I am, but you already knew that. I don't have the patience for the bins. Great weekend for Armstrong. 12 sales. 3 top sellers were $120 cowboy boots. Nice, dude. $95 cowboy boots and Depop and an $80 suit sale. I like it. Now you're talking my language. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for popping in. If I missed your comment, I didn't do it on purpose. I'm just a space cadet and I'm doing multiple different things. So if I missed your question or comment, just drop it down there again. I won't be offended. What's a good Oh, I already read that one. Books and whatnot have been magical in 2025 and 2026. Glad to hear that, Common Ground Finds. Hope you're well. Found new tags, Aritzia women's pants the other day. Nice. At the bins, that's sweet. Just want to say how much I enjoy your videos. Appreciate that, Missy Sparks. Well, compliments are always well taken and well appreciated. Boston is 45 minutes from me. Hope you have a great trip. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. 45 minutes, which direction? Where are you in that neck of the woods? I used to live up that way. Learned so much from you and Kaylay over the last year. Yeah, Kayla's really a great person. She knows her stuff. Isn't she the best? Next up is an order for Matthew. What did Matthew get? We're working on eBay orders, y'all. We got some Poshmark orders. We got a Mercari order too. Really good weekend of sales. 2 collars and co. Here's a bundle. We got 1 solid white, men's size large, 1 peach, pink, something like that. Anyway, the thing with these collars and co is they have this like really stiff collar. But it's a moisture wicking, like lightweight, stretchy, easy care, non-iron type of shirt, right? So you can get the benefit of like that dressy kind of look with that stiff collar that stays up and doesn't fall down, but you can still stay, cool and dry, and you don't have to break out that iron. So these sold for $38.98 a piece, plus $6.95 shipping, $6.95 shipping. So they paid, what's that, $13.90 shipping on top of that. This is going to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, to Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. Put it in these bags. The Collars & Co., if you're going to find them used, more often than not, I find them with two things: stains around the collar, like all the time, but also like these collars, you want to make sure that they're not like what they call bacon collar, right? Where people, when they buy these, they want the collar still stiff. They don't want it kind of like wrinkled and like mangled. So that's something to look for. I end up passing on most Collars & Co. that I come across in the wild because they have one or both of those two things: the stains around the collar or the bacon collar. And that's just not a good thing. I mean, bacon collar, those aren't good things in any brands. I just run across that with Collars & Co. probably more than any other brand. So this is going to Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. This sold while I was in Winston-Salem. Of course, my inventory is back here in Asheville, but kind of interesting that it's going to the town that I just got back from yesterday. So next up is going to Mountain View, California. That's where Google is, right? This is a brand I never sold before. I know somebody like Kirby in the chat who's like 10 times smarter than me and already knows about this brand. I can't show you the logo, but what I'll do is I'll show you I'll do a shared screen. I'll show you the listing here. So the brand is called Incotex. I've never heard of it. I've never seen it on videos, I don't think, before. I just ran into it and it felt like it was quality, so I grabbed it. So just a regular looking pair of pants, but look at this, cotton linen blend. And I guess it's companies from Japan. Classic fit pattern B. It's called a Chino Lino. So Incotex. What's up, Jack? I see you, brother. Chino Lino. It says made in Romania, I guess, but a Japanese company. Anyway, Incotex. So this one, good sale here. This one sold for something. $34 on a best offer, and it was a really fast sale too. I feel like I just listed these. Yeah, 1 day to sell. So 1 day to sell, $34. I paid $5 at a thrift store. I love that. I love that. It's like a $25 profit, and it was in the garage for 1 day, in the inventory for 1 day. Really hard to beat that. So this is going out to Mountain View, California. This is my most expensive shipping label of the day. It jumped off the page to me because it's $10.43 going from Asheville, North Carolina, clear across the country to Mountain View, California. So I end up losing like $1.50 on shipping because my shipping, I charged $8.95 for shipping, and this buyer is in California, and it's going to cost me $10.43. So I lost $1.50 on shipping, but some of these other ones will make $1 or $2, so it all sort of averages out. It don't bother me. All right, thank you, Mario. Incotex. So there's a new one. If you already knew that brand, let me know down below in the chat, because that means you were holding out on me, that you didn't tell me about it, and that ain't cool. If you've covered this already, I apologize. What are your thoughts on Vinted? Vinted, I don't know anything about Vinted. I can't tell you the first thing about it because I've never used it. I've never sold on it. I've never even gone to their website before. I cross-list using Nifty. Nifty doesn't offer cross-listing to Vinted, so it's a moot point. I'm not going to manually cross-list anything to a platform. I just don't have time for that. It just doesn't make any sense. So I don't know anything about it. But what do you know about it? I just don't know the first thing. Come on, Chris, are you starting to sound like Surf? Who's that? Yo, Mr. Pickin' Wizard. What's up, Jack? How are you, man? Chat. Jack is in the house. He's going to bring some positive energy and some vibes for sure. There we go. Missed the start of the live dealing with the eBay. Goodwill return. Oh, you were dealing with an eBay Goodwill return. Sorry to hear about that. Welcome in, Desert Rain. Good to have you. What and CO? I'm sorry, Francis. I don't know what you're saying. I grew up in Mountain View. No way. That is where Google is, right? Do I have that right? Missy, howdy there. I did some wool Incotex pants at the bins a couple weeks ago. Nice. We're vibing on the same page. I like it. Do you always offer best offer on your items? I do. I also sell on Poshmark, Mercari, and Whatnot, and all those platforms have best offer too. I can turn off best offer on Whatnot, but best offer is always on Mercari and Poshmark. There's no way to turn it off. So it makes sense for me to price in a way that works for all the platforms rather than pricing it different for different platforms. So I price it basically with the idea that I got 10% wiggle in every item. I also have Nifty sending automatic 10% off offers on all my items too. So I price everything with a 10% wiggle room because I'm constantly having offers get sent out every day for 10% off automatically, like while I'm sleeping, while I'm driving. Right now, while I'm live, Nifty is sending those offers. So I have to build that into my pricing strategy. Good morning, Chris. Jody here from Western Washington. I just got off live with your friend K-Way Shop. Isn't Kayla the nicest? Well, thanks for jumping in, Jody. Good to have you. What are your thoughts on Hagar sport coats? I got a tweed wool made in the USA for $2. I figured for $2, it can't be that bad of a purchase. Not sure. I would have to comp that item, Motivated Mama. I don't know that I've ever bought a made in the USA Hagar sport coat. So I would be lying if I shared an opinion with you because I just haven't looked it up. So what I would do is I would just look up recent sales of Hagar sports coats on eBay, like ones that are similar to yours. I'd see what's the average sale price, and I would look at the sell-through rate and decide if that is a good pickup for $2. I just don't know. When I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. Vinted is fantastic. No fees, free shipping. Good to know, Candy. Just getting started on my business. Been doing it for about 30 days now. Let me just say this, because I was talking about this with somebody yesterday. The thing with these platforms, when they start with 0 fees and free shipping, what they're doing is they're running a loss leader sort of business, right? And I think most of you understand what a loss leader is. So they're running business, they're giving you deals with the idea that someday they'll make money off of you. But right now they won't. They'll take the loss and they're happy with it because they're building towards something better. Oftentimes, like grocery stores will have loss leaders in their flyers. They'll lose money on something, but they got you into the store, and now they'll assume you'll lose money on that one item, but they hope that you buy 13 other items. Well, they'll make profit on those items, right? And hopefully establish you as a regular customer because you had a good experience, whatever. So when they're doing no fees, free shipping, it's a definition of a loss leader, right? They're losing money on that. Like they're doing a whole bunch of work for you, and then they're not getting anything out of it, not in the short term. But that's not going to happen forever. At some point, they have to earn a profit, and the investors are going to say, cool, now we're going to work into that phase now where we're going to have to make some money off these people. And the problem is now that platform has built a reputation on people selling stuff for less than they normally would because the fees are lower, right? So like as a seller, if I'm going to sell something for $30 on eBay with fees, right? I could probably sell that item for like $22 on Vinted without the fees, or $23 or $24. You see what I mean? And still make the same profit. So now what you've done is you've created a marketplace where people are used to buying stuff at lower prices and selling stuff at lower prices. So now that when you come back and you actually start charging fees and start charging shipping, now people that are normal buyers on that platform are going to be like, well, what the F? Everything's more expensive now. I can't get the deals I used to get. So it makes me worry. I mean, there's definitely a model, like it's an age-old model, like the loss leader model is something that's, people have used forever. And if you execute it really well, it can work. I just have my concerns about, are they going to be able to execute on that, right? Are they going to be able to shift from being this discount platform for everybody to now, now we're going to have to compete with everybody else at a similar fee level and in shipping and all that stuff. We'll see. But I would certainly be aware of what's going on there. And maybe sales are like, a lot of people are saying like Depop's like crushing it lately. I'm just getting so many sales. But then I learned that Depop was doing a free shipping promo, right? So, well, what's going to happen when free shipping promo is over and now people have to pay for shipping again? Are they going to buy as much? Because now they're like, well, I'm not getting the deals I used to get. So we'll see. The plan is that will work. That's why Depop is doing that. And that's why Vinted is doing it. The plan is, and this is the plan all along, it's why you do it, is you get more customers, they have a good experience, and then they'll stick around when you start charging them more money. We'll see if it works. It might, but that's a risk. Just getting started on my business, been doing it for about 30 days now. It seems like from what I have read, people don't see consistent sales until their store gets to a certain size, like hundreds of items. Do you remember when you really started getting regular daily sales? Alan, great question. I don't. It's like I don't really remember it vividly. I know it happened, but I started selling on eBay in 2018. It was a side hustle for me. I had a full-time job. And that's when I kind of got I always kind of sold stuff on eBay and bought stuff on eBay, but I got serious about selling on eBay as a side hustle in 2018. So that's 8 years ago. It was July of 2018. So do I remember like this idea of going from, infrequent sales to daily sales? I don't honestly really remember much about it, but I think the essence of your question is like when is that going to happen for you? And the answer is, shoot, I don't know, because everybody's store is so much different. I have no idea what you sell. I don't have no idea like what the sell-through rate of the items that you're picking up are. I don't know what your pricing strategy is. I don't know what your promotion strategy is. I don't know how great your photos are as they compare to competition. So for me to tell you what you need to do to start getting daily sales, like what thresholds you have to hit, it would be impossible, because two people could have very similar merchandise and run very different sell-through rates because of their pricing strategy or their promotion strategy, or their one's cross-listing and one's not. So there's so many little variables. I couldn't make up a number for you. I would just be lying. But I would say you'll get consistent, regular daily sales when if I don't know when, but if you continue to get better every day, right? You continue to get better at picking good stuff that's in demand and in season that people are going to want to buy. You'll get consistent sales if you continue to get better with your pricing strategy, your listing strategy, your photos, and your promotion strategy and all that. Those are the first two things that you really have to get good at. Finding good stuff. The second thing is like getting good at actually selling it, listing it, and making great listings that are better than your competition. Because remember, you're competing with everybody. You're competing with me, and you're competing with everybody in the chat right here. So you got to get better at that second thing. The third thing, which will come in time too, is building efficient processes for the first two things. So getting efficient at your sourcing strategy, right, and getting efficient at your listing strategy and your selling strategy. So those are the three steps. If you work through those three steps and you continue to get better at those these three things every single day, then 1% better every day, and you'll be great. I can't give you a number of listings because it'll be different for everybody. Hope that helps. Do you put a minimum on best offer? I don't. I've never done it. I need to be packing orders. Got too much crap going on. This is for town-wide sales. Got a lot to do. The first and set. I don't know what you're saying, but it sounds like you got a lot of work to do, Jack. I'm trying to read it. What's up, Jody? Vinted similar to Depop as far as very low fees, but I use Vendu and it doesn't offer Vinted. I joined because of friend's recommendation, but haven't sold anything there yet and get not having the time. Gotcha. Cool. Thanks for sharing. What's up, Richard? Frenchie's in the house. What's the weather like in Paris, brother? What site do you recommend for automatic multi-platform auctions? Not exactly sure what you're asking there. I don't do any auctions whatsoever, and I don't know that I've run an auction on any platform in it's been years. So maybe you can rephrase your questions. I'm just not sure really what you're asking. I don't do any auctions, so I can't speak to that. Not sure. Tell me exactly what you're trying to do. Free stuff always attracts people. You will pay at some point. Bet. Yep, 100%. And the challenge with that model, I think we're talking about like that Vinted model or that Depop model. The challenge with that model is that you're catering specifically to the lower paying buyer, right? The lower paying buyer is going to go to Depop because now they know it's free shipping and there's no fees. So they can get a better deal maybe than eBay and Poshmark. And if you're continuing to run a business on just attracting the lowest paying customers, that can be a dangerous thing. That's all I'll say right there, right? Because maybe you're not attracting the right customers through that whole thing. Maybe people who go on Depop consistently are sick and tired of the offers that are never accepted or never paid for. Just maybe that's scaring away the best sellers. Maybe that's scaring away the best buyers. And instead, by doing low fees and free shipping, you're attracting those, the bottom of the barrel, right? Like What's the strategy here? Why are you scaring away the best buyers and the best sellers? You get what I'm saying? And just to attract the lowest. I just don't know if that's a smart business model. It is a business model that can be executed well and it works. I mean, you think about like lower priced, restaurants and stuff like that. Like something like McDonald's, which it's not cheap now, but was cheap for a very long time. Was very successful with a model of going very low on price, always giving like deep discounts, value, all that stuff. It works. There's a pathway to it. It's just you have to go into it headlong, understanding what the risks are to that approach. On vintage, the buyer pays the fee. They did that on Mercari. How'd that go? I agree about vintage. One thing about too, people hate fees. They hate fees. So sticking the fees on the buyer, I don't know about that. So they're going to expect that your sale price is going to be lower because they're going to look at the whole total. It's just like shipping. You can price a $20 shirt at $15 and you can do $9.95 shipping when everyone else is at $5.95 shipping, right? Like most people aren't that stupid, right? They're going to be like, well, geez, it's more expensive going with the person who's $15 plus. Yeah. So if they're tacking on fees, yeah, it might work. It might work. I don't know. I haven't gone on Vinted. I haven't even gone to their website yet. I don't know the first thing about them. The only things I know about Vinted are what you told me, but what I'm hearing are things that are, to me, potential red flags. They could execute their way through it. I don't know though. When we did flea markets, my girlfriend would say we can't sell that for 30. I paid that for it. Yeah, but we have sold 10 items we got free for $60. Exactly. That's like a big topic. Even with the sourcing too, I think sometimes people get like too hung up on like the cost per unit when it's like instead like, well, let's just look at like what happened, let's look at the week. Let's not look at like my profit on this item. How much profit did I make all week? And like, let's not think about how much every individual item cost. This one was $5, this one was $7. I only made $5 on this one, but I made $13 on this one. What did you spend this week? And how much profit did you make at the end of the week or the end of the month? Like looking at the macro. I think, of course, the micro adds up to the macro, right? You can't just not pay attention to those things. But I think just looking at like things very micro all the time becomes kind of sometimes like not seeing the forest through the trees, not seeing the trees through the forest, whatever that is. The funny thing about free shipping on Depop is it's making people want things even cheaper. They're already saving a lot with no shipping, but it's enough. They need more. Exactly. It's just like sort of it's sucking in that type of buyer with that sort of mindset. And it's like that's what you get what you're putting out to people, right? So if that's the type of people that you want to attract, and they'll attract it. But what is that going to mean 6 months, a year, 18 months from now, when that's the whole platform? What does that mean? When you scared away people who are like so sick and tired of like their stupid games with the offers that are never paid for, like what are they trying to do? They're kind of scaring away the best customers, attracting the lowest paying, always wanting a deal, always wanting nickel and dime, always wanting to haggle. What are they trying to accomplish? Alan, post 10 items a day and you will see sales. There you go, Donna. Alan, if you do correct comps in SDR, buy the stuff that sells. You will sell as soon as you list stuff. If you list stuff that's crowded or not desirable, sales will be slow. There you go. Good advice right there. You didn't use that thought when I started. I just listed whatever I had. That's not the way to go. Good point. You're taking advice from people who are it's a smart idea to take advice from somebody who's a step or two or three in front of you and hear what they say, hear what they said about the mistakes that they made along the way, the times they bumped their toe and all that stuff. So that's what Jack's doing for you, Alan. Don't worry about the competing with me. I just sell to lose money. I'm richer than Elon. Very true. He was actually Jack was the first trillionaire. Elon is just following his coattails. Makes sense. You're welcome. You're welcome, Alan. Welcome aboard. Good to have you. I have a huge theory about reselling clothes in these apps, especially eBay and Depop, since eBay is buying it, but it's way too much to type here. It has to do with the push to keep clothing out of the landfill. Gotcha. Someday maybe we'll hear it, Queen. Friday and Saturday. Lately, I've been seeing people say how they take items that aren't selling to buy, sell, trade stores do that too. I haven't, but there's nothing wrong with that approach. There's nothing wrong with that. Going to start selling on eBay soon and have a good amount of inventory, specifically classic men's and women's clothing. Any things I need to look out for? Gosh, very difficult for me to answer that question right now, because I could be talking 2 hours from now of telling you about hundreds and thousands of different things that you should be looking for. So if you had a more specific question, maybe I can answer that, or I would just say, hey, I have thousands of hours of content answering that exact question. If you go to my YouTube, which is the same, Chris at Peak, you will find videos that range from 45 minutes to an hour and a half of me traveling to thrift, going into thrift stores, showing you exactly what I'm picking up, exactly what I'm leaving behind, and sharing all the details about like what made this one good and that one not as good. And it usually comes down to the little details. So to me, I would prescribe watching some of that stuff, or maybe some of these videos that you like even better than mine. But we have that's what this channel is about, is putting out, really the core of this channel is showing you the stuff that I'm finding out in the wild and telling you exactly why I'm picking it up, how much it's worth, and all that stuff. So if that's interesting to you to get that question answered, I can't answer it in just like a quick 30-second soundbite here. I would say go watch, literally tens of thousands of hours of content on that topic on these channels over the years. We've been putting out content now since 2020 about that exact topic. So I can't just answer it in a question. In a 30-second soundbite. I've been answering it for years. So you can go find those answers. One of these days, I might have to take up my Travis Matthew items to Uptown Cheapsake and see if they'll take them. They aren't selling despite being cheap. Not a bad idea. They might still see that as like a valuable item, right? What's up, Posey? Poshmark killed for me this week. Headed to Chattanooga this week and planning to make a couple of thrift stops along the way. Awesome. I like Chattanooga, cool little town. What do you got going on out there besides some thrifting? What's the plan out in Chattanooga? Fun little town right there on the river. I like it. I only use eBay, have no desire to add all the other sites, just not in my site. Too much confusion. I hear you, Jack. No judgment from me. Vinted is advertised is cleaning out your closets. They frown on anything with tags. Strange. Thanks for sharing, Blackhawk. And sales beget sales, they say. There you go. I don't know. Thoughts on Mercari? I have cross-listed on the top 4, but no inventory movement at all from Mercari. Mercari's slow for me. That's all I can really say right there. I feel like they're probably in a slow decline phase and probably just doing whatever they can to survive at this point. That's my take on it, but I don't have any inside scoop. I don't have a friend that works in Mercari. I don't know the CEO, but my instincts tell me that they're sort of on a pretty good backslide and just trying to figure out like how can they survive, or they probably need to niche down or something in order to survive, if you ask me, and just get sort of like really narrow. But I don't know anything about their financials or any of that stuff. So, but that's just a guess on my part. Donna, that's so untrue. I haven't listed in weeks and I get sales near every day. There you go. Understood. I've been watching and will continue to do so. Appreciate it. That's right, Edwin. Then you get it. You know that there's just so much stuff out there and so many things to look at. I'd say make sure your shipping weights are accurate. If your weights are too low, it'll cost you extra. There's some good advice from Armstrong. Appreciate that. So many comments right here. I like it. What do we got here? The thing is, Depop and Vinted has a young demographic that does not have a ton of money to spend on clothing. Gotcha. Trillion. Yeah, right. And a zillionaire. Jack's a zillionaire. My girlfriend took a lot of clothes and shoes to a store that sells it and pays you a cut. She got screwed so hard. No kiss either. Oh my gosh, Jack. Brand new pair of Nikes with tag. Her cut was $6 flipping. Sheesh. I like how you said flipping dollars. Let's flip some clothes here. We got Redhead. I don't buy a lot from this brand, so don't go crazy and like run out of this live and just go to the thrift store and buy a ton of Redhead. This one right here says Redhead Silent Hide. Anyway, it's a hunting shirt, obviously camo. So this is a True Timber Strata camo hunting shirt. And I paid $5 at a thrift store. This sold for this is a nifty best offer, $22.49. I've had some Redhead before in my store that like lasted for years. I would be really selective with Redhead clothing. This one I feel like sold pretty quickly, 39 days. So great sale, 5 into $22.49, and it only took 39 days to sell. So I'll take that. That's a good win right here. It's kind of like a heavy canvas hunting camo shirt. That's on brand for Redhead. So there's, you'll hear me use that term a lot, something that's like on brand or off brand. If this was like a plain white shirt, that would be off brand for Redhead, but something like this that somebody could wear hiking, this is on brand for Redhead. So people who shop for Redhead are looking for this style. So that's why this sells well. But if it was just like a basic plaid shirt or a solid shirt, that's not really on brand for Redhead. It might have a harder time selling that. Again, I'm just making big, broad brushstroke generalizations, but those are things that you'll sort of pick up along the way as you learn, just figuring out on brand versus off brand. This one's also going through the eBay international shipping program. So I'm shipping this one to Glendale Heights, Illinois, and eBay is going to take it the rest of the way to the customer. So I paid $7.22 for the shipping label. And I'm shipping this to Illinois. That's it. eBay takes care of getting it to the customer overseas. So that's out the door. Probably like $10, $12 profit on that one right there. Next up is all these items, by the way, I'm selling the buyer pays shipping. So when I say that sold for $22.49, it sold for $22.49 plus the buyer paid $8.95 shipping on that. Next up is for Patrick. This is a good golf polo. This sold for a best offer. Yep, this is a best offer, $24.99. Men's size 2 extra large. There's the logo right there. This is a brand that was, so Good Golf is a YouTube channel. It's a golf YouTube channel, and with over 1 million subscribers, big channel, good viewership. They probably make a ton of money from their YouTube, and they have their own golf brand now. So it's a decent seller, not a crazy seller. Definitely a young brand, still low distribution, probably not something you'll find at many thrift stores because it's young and they haven't sold a ton of it. So, it hasn't had a chance to like live its life and get to the thrift store yet because it's young, and there's just not volume of it that's sold. So you're not going to see a lot of it in thrift stores yet. Over time, maybe we'll see. It's an interesting, like how a YouTube brand, like, let's see how it can grow to the next level or not. Not a particularly great pattern on this one, just a kind of a boring stripe pattern. For me, I've seen the ones that are kind of more like all over print, fun patterns have been selling a little bit better, but they're both selling, honestly. So $24.99 on that one. I picked this one up retail clearance. I picked up a ton of them, 30 plus of these good golf polos back in January. And they've been selling, just kind of a slow, steady pace. I think that's the only one that sold from that brand this weekend. But I like picking up those big hauls of retail arbitrage off-season stuff and sell it when it goes in season. Levi's 501, you only pick made in the USA and vintage. I buy, if it's $6 or less, I'm buying every single Levi's 501 that I see as long as it's in decent condition. Good question. Planning on pushing out content, styling the clothes on our storefront to push extra customers. Planning on pushing out content, styling the clothes on our storefront to push extra customers. Any experience in that realm? Are you selling on where are you selling these items? When you say like on a storefront, you're going to do content. I'm not even actually sure how you would execute that. Let me know a little bit more about your plan. I'm just not sure. I'm not really sure how you would. Are you selling on eBay or Poshmark or what are you selling on? I'm just babbling as normal. I like it. I'm here for it. I get 1 to 3 sales in a month on Mercari, considering experience as a buyer and how things change when they change fees back to the seller. It doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah. That fees change, I think, was an example of like, that was to me, like a desperation move, right? They're like, we got to try something. And they tried it and it didn't work. And they changed course really quickly. They backed it off. Tons of sellers left Mercari. So that's what happened. Gotcha. That's Plato's Closet in South Carolina. Really enjoy your thrift trip videos. Look forward to seeing more. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate the positive vibes. They will definitely be more coming soon. Is that a coupon sticker on the bag? It is a QR code with a thank you sticker. I picked up a new tag Redhead flannel. My Goodwill had it priced at $10.99 and sat for weeks. So I picked it up when it was half off day. Nice desert rain. Let me know how it goes. What advice do you have for trying to find out if an item is really vintage? Take some time. It just takes some time. It's like doing your research, right? So if you found a vintage LO bean or you found an LO bean and you thought it was vintage, I'd go on Google and start looking up all the different tags. You can also use things like ChatGPT, which are starting to get better at recognizing, like vintage versus modern. But I would just Google and start looking at like the ages of all the tags of LL Bean. And they're like, all right, cool. So now I'm learning all the different LL Bean shirt tags. And this one looks like it's this one from the website. It says 1970s. Great. This one's a vintage one. Cool. I'm going to remember that, right? And maybe save that resource and put it somewhere in a folder that's vintage stuff. And then you'll do the same thing with a Polo Ralph Lauren. You'll be like, is this a vintage tag? I'm not sure. You're going to Google it. You're going to figure out the history of tags, match yours up to what you're finding on the internet. And now you know a little bit more about Polo. You fast forward like 8 years into your game like me. And now I can just look at a tag and I can basically tell you about what era from LL Bean that item was. Not like perfect, but some of them more than others. And same thing, Polo Ralph Lauren, stuff like that. You just sort of like learn it, and you learn to like recognize little details as being vintage because you've researched 10, 12, 15, 18, 20 different brands, right? And you've learned those little nuances, and you start picking up themes, and now you're like good at it, right? It's kind of like I often use metaphors of like how does somebody become a chef? It's like, well, you start by probably you got hired as a dishwasher, and then when the fry cook called out, you filled in for him and you roughed your way through a day as a fry cook. You did that for a few months, and then the grill guy called out and they call you onto the grill. You got to help out over there, and you slowly learn that out. And over time, right, you work all these different stations, and then you do that at multiple different restaurants and learn all the different. Then you're like, cool, I can cook basically anywhere because I know how to cook all the different food on grills and saute on steamers and the fry-laters and all, and you're like, I've cooked seafood, and you build up that experience over time, and then you start recognizing things that are vintage, or in this case, you're able to just sort of like cook anything, anywhere, on any platform, and or any, with any tools, right? And it's like it's the same thing. It's just, but how do you start? Well, start working the dish pit, start in the fry-later, and for you, it's like you got to start with one brand that you find, and you're like, I think this is vintage. And start doing your research on that brand and start from there and take baby steps. Hope you had a great Father's Day. Thank you, Faye. I appreciate that. Hope you and your family did too. So eBay. So tell me, Edwin, like, how are you, when you say you're going to make content to sell clothes on your storefront on eBay, what is that like? I'm just not sure how does one do that? How does one put content on eBay? I just don't know what you're asking. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do. I mean, it makes sense. I just don't know, how do you execute what you're talking about? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm hearing vintage comes to Nifty soon. I've heard lots of rumors. eBay and Posh are MG clear winners with Depop a bit behind. I probably won't listing to Mercari going forward. 400 listings now there. Gotcha. Cool. On an eBay storefront. So you can put content on an eBay storefront. You're just ahead of me, I guess, on the curve on that. I have no idea. Can anyone speak to that in the chat? Can you put content on an eBay storefront? We have somebody on, Edwin is asking on IG about pushing out content, styling the clothes on our storefront to push. What is the content that you're going to put? Is it video? Is it photo? I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what you're up to. Do you currently sell on eBay? Do you have like an idea of like how the whole thing works, like the storefront and all that? I'm not asking to be to be mean or anything. I just don't know where anybody's at when they're asking these questions. So I'm just trying to meet you where you're at. Next up is a Faraday sale. This was a quick one. I sold 2 Faradays over the weekend. This one is a men's size small. You can see the tag right there. And this is called a Faraday. The model is Movement. And this is a cotton stretch shirt right here. This sold for $27.99 on eBay. I paid $5 for it. This sold quick too. I feel like I just listed this. Took 13 days to sell, even in that men's size small. Now, men's size small in general, broad brushstrokes, generally doesn't sell as better as other sizes, but there can always be some brands, some models where there's actually a better sell-through rate on men's size small. I'm not saying that's the case here with Faraday, but Faraday is a younger brand, and I think the demographic that they're selling to tends to be younger. So I think Faraday you can probably do pretty well in size small, just because younger people are wearing it. Younger people tend to be smaller. That's just tons of research that supports that your BMI or your weight, they both go up with age. At least it has for me, that's for sure. But so to me, I think it would make sense logically that a brand that caters to a younger demographic like Faraday could sell well in a size small and a size medium. And maybe it's like a fitter demographic with I don't know. You get what I mean, I think. This is going to Edward. Thank you, Edward. Nice sale right there, $27.99. Sold in, what did I say? 13 days or something? Yeah, 13 days on that. I like it. Yeah, sorry, Edwin. I'm not seeing any replies from you. I just don't know what you're trying to do with like content on an eBay storefront. I've just never heard of such a thing. Neither has Faye. Another thing that makes me dislike Mercari is USPS shipping. There is a super expensive over a pound. Oh yeah, I hate like going to UPS and FedEx and all that stuff. I agree with you there. It would seem a lot of work for individual pieces that stick to $100 plus items to make investment worth it. You can post videos now on eBay listings. Oh, is that what he's saying? But who really watches those? Oh, gotcha. I don't know. Feels like if that's what you're asking, Edward, maybe Edwin, sorry. If that's what you're asking, like in your actual listings, you're going to put videos for the items. I'm not sure. I haven't had any experience doing that. I don't know that I've seen listings doing that. So what that'll help you. So when you're selling on eBay, the first thing you got to do is you got to show up in search results, right? So it's like you got to go through this series of challenges before somebody buys. So in eBay, a typical shopping experience is somebody searching for that item. So this next one is a bad example. Let's just use this example. I mean, all examples are a good example. It's fun. So this is a men's poncho flannel shirt, men's size, 2 extra large, regular fit, flannel, plaid, really hot seller right now. This one sold for $59 on a best offer right here. So $59. It sold in just, I think, 5 days it took to sell on eBay. It would have sold faster if I priced it even more aggressively. I priced it at $64.99, took the $59 offer. So $5 out the door on this, or 5 days out the door. Really nice profit. Paid $5, sold it for $59. What's the profit on that, by the way? But we'll use this we'll talk through the whole, like your challenge as a seller and the whole experience that's going to happen for you to sell an item. We'll break it down into little steps. So my profit after fees and shipping on this, so eBay's going to pay me out $44.12. I paid $5, $39 profit off that one item. So that's awesome. Love that. So on this item, the first thing, someone is going to have to find my shirt in search results, because if they're searching for a poncho shirt and mine doesn't show up, like, near the top or on the first page of search results, then they're never even going to see it, like scrolling through. So I don't exist, right? My listing does not exist if it doesn't show up in search results. So your first challenge is, how do you show up high in search results? Well, really good keywords. That's got to help. eBay also says that if you're a top-rated seller, that helps you show up higher in search results. They say if you're a top-rated seller plus, which means you offer 1-day handling time or less, and you offer free shipping, you can be top-rated seller plus. They say that could help you show up higher in search results. You can also promote, right? So you can pay, say, 3%. You can promote at 3% rate, which means your item's going to show up higher in search results, but now you're going to pay eBay 3% when that item sells, 3% extra on top of the fees. So that's another way you can show up higher in search results. But really, like, keywords are going to be great for that. So first you're going to show up, and you want to show up high, because if they don't scroll down to the bottom of the first page, or they don't get to page, if you're on page 2 or page 3 of the results, they're never going to get a chance to even click on your listing. They're never going to see it. So there's going to be no impression. And you can look at all this data on eBay. If you go into your metrics, you can look at impressions, and that's you showing up in a search result where they can actually see you in the scroll. The next step is, are they going to click on your item? And that really comes down to your cover photo. So a video and your listing isn't going to help you show up in search results. I don't think there's anything in the algorithm where a video means you're going to show up higher. So the video won't help you there. It's also not going to help you on the next thing, which is your cover photo. People are going to click on your cover photo, and all they're going to see is the cover photo. They're going to see your item title, and they're going to see the price and the shipping price. So those things are going to either make them click on your listing or click on someone else's below or above your listing. So that's the next thing, is the click. So first is you get an impression, which means you showed up in search results, they saw your item. Number two, did you get a click? Video is not going to help with either of those things. Video is only going to help on the third thing, is now they're in your listing and you're going to close the deal. And that's where the video could potentially help. In theory, if you're going to invest time into a video, that you're going to actually have a higher percentage, like the conversion percentage from click to actual pay. And that's where the video will come in. So if I'm you, I'm first going to focus on those first two things. I'm going to focus on how do I show up higher in search results, like promoting, like really good keywords and that sort of thing. Number two is then I'm going to think about how does my cover photo got to be better than this guy's and this guy's. And then number three, after you've done those first two things, is like, cool, should I invest the time into creating a video that in theory is going to help me get a better conversion rate? We'll see. That's a challenge. I don't know the answer to that question. And I imagine it just really comes down to execution. It would come down to execution and how efficient can you be. If you're spending a whole bunch of time creating a video, and like editing the video or like redoing it, or doing take after take after take, and all of a sudden you're adding 5 or 6 minutes to each listing, like I don't know that any extra conversion rate is going to be worth 5 to 6 extra minutes per listing. But if you can get that down to something like, man, you just you got like this system where you just like take this like quick little 5-second video, and you're able to like knock it out in one take every time, and you're only adding 5 extra seconds to your listing process, and you're noticing that you're getting like a 1% better conversion rate. I don't know, maybe I'm just making it up. I don't know if you can get a better 1% better. I'm just not sure, but maybe that's what it is. You're working on the margins, and I think it's smart to work on the margins, especially like I have 1,400 listings. So getting better on the margins, and if I can get 1% better conversion rate, that's going to make me money, like a significant amount of money every month. And that might be worth an extra, if it only takes me like 5 or 15 seconds per listing, I think that makes some sense. I just don't know. I haven't tried it. I haven't built a system around it. I haven't seen how quick I can get it. And I haven't seen how it impacts actual conversion rates. But in theory, if you can get a better conversion rate for a very small investment of time, I like it. But I would say first, the video don't matter if you're not showing up in search results and they're not clicking on your cover photo. If those things aren't maximized first, I would focus on those first and not focus on like the fancy stuff, which is like the video and the listing. If that's what you're talking about, then there you go. Hopefully that helps too. I know we kind of talked about a lot of like kind of basic fundamental stuff on like how a buyer goes through eBay, and some of you might be very, very familiar with that, and others of you might be like, oh, that's interesting. So either way, I am not sure why you just called me fat. I don't recall doing that, but maybe I did, and I'm sorry. I don't think I would have done that. I don't list anything over 1 pound on Mercari for that reason. I can't get to UPS easy. I hear that. I'm so close to UPS. It's great. I just go to I can go to CVS and drop it off there, and there's a CVS like so close to me. It's also right next to the Goodwill. It's also right next to the post office. So it's just, I drive by it like every day. I've used videos to show working electronics or plush with sound. Yeah. I could see like the electronics working thing. I think that would make sense. And the sound on the plush. Yeah. Both of those things make sense. For clothing, I'm just not sure. Yeah. I mean, those are great examples, right? Because a photo can't capture electronics working. Right. So you're either showing it, you can't show it working unless you used a video. Same thing, like a photo can't give you sound, but a video can, so that you can hear the sound that the plush makes. I'd say that would probably help you close, that'd probably improve your conversion rate by more than 1% would be my guess. I think that would probably be pretty powerful conversion rate change by adding video in those two examples. So I like that. And I think clothing, I don't know, you're not like, the video is not going to have any sound for the clothing, I don't think. So you're not adding that, and you're not seeing it work. I guess you could show like a magnetic pocket working, maybe that would show functionality. I don't know. I think I'm kind of pushing it there a little bit, but I think your examples are really good piece of scrap. Make 10-second videos of every digital camera I list showing powering on and off, charge and stuff. Yeah, okay, that's another great example. Yeah, I like that, Salt. I think that makes sense because now the video is doing something that a photo can't do. It's showing like it actual turn on, turn off. Yeah, I like it. I think that makes some sense. I think that's going to help your conversion rate probably better than 1%, right? That's cool to show how it sounds. Yeah, that makes sense. Have you done live shows on Poshmark? I haven't. I'm in sales and travel every week, Monday through Thursday, so I get to thrift 6 to 7 states. I like it, Posey. Haven't had the luck to come across a poncho yet. Soon enough, Armstrong, you'll find one. Yeah, I just looked at eBay. I don't see where you could filter by video option. I can see where electronics that could provide a sense of security. Absolutely, yeah. I think that's going to give you an improved conversion rate for sure on electronics, and even that plush example, I think it would help too. With clothing, I think, yeah, it's like, is the video, like what in a clothing video is going to take me to the next level? I just don't know like what I would see in a video that would be like, yeah, okay, I'll buy it. Because I was actually just looking for poncho shirts over the weekend on eBay and Poshmark. I got some comments about that experience, by the way, too. So first of all, let's just do this. I said I was going to move through this fast. We are not moving through this fast. I got to show you this, y'all. I'm going to share the screen here. I just want to share it with you, my example, because as a seller, I went shopping on these platforms. I don't buy a lot on eBay and Poshmark. I go to thrift stores. I find stuff. I don't really need a lot of clothes. I have more clothes than a human really needs, and I find them constantly because this is what I do. I go out there and shop, and I do retail arbitrage, and I find new stuff for cheap too on clearance. So, but I'm going to share with you my experience shopping for poncho shirts over the weekend and a little bit like early last week. So I'm going to share my screen. You said as you get older, you wear a bigger size as well. Don't call me fat again. You are older and bigger. I'll leave it at that. The stats say that is true. Statistically, that is factual. But you are young at heart and you are thin as a pin. So let me get this Poshmark up here. I'm going to share my screen. This is my sales screen, which we'll ship these in a little bit. So this is my experience. I was searching for poncho short sleeve slim shirt. Cool. And what I was doing, so these are the current listings on Poshmark. And then I was going to filter this down to shirts, just so you do that. Casual button-down shirts, great. And then I'm going to go filter the brand down because they're going to, look at this, they put like Bonobos in there, Bonobos. I just want ponchos. So I'm going to filter the brand for poncho. Ooh, they have both poncho and poncho outdoors. Both are right, so I'm going to click both of those. Cool. So now I got to get the size right. So I already put in slim in the top, as you can see there, but I want the slim XL. Slim Fit XL fits me great right now for these poncho shirts. So here are our results now. So men's casual button-down shirts, poncho, size extra large, and I already have slim up here in the title. And we're looking for short sleeves too. Look at how much people are selling these shirts for. Let's look. I actually looked at this one over here on the right over the weekend. So we'll click on this listing. It says asterisk flaw, which is good that they're calling out the flaw in the item title. But look at this. We have a giant Right Materials logo on the chest. I would buy this shirt at a thrift store for $5 and sell it on eBay. There is value on these poncho shirts when they have logos, but logos, there's like a continuum here from like good to bad. Like that's it's a big kind of bold logo, and it's like a construction company. It's kind of a weird thing that people, if it was a country club logo, if it was like Apple or like I don't know, Disney, like there's a buyer for that. I don't know that anyone's buying Right Materials. I could be wrong. But so big ugly logo on the front. I'm just going to call it a big ugly logo. It also showed up, and this is a regular fit, so I shouldn't even be looking at it. I searched for slim, and it gave me a regular fit. So that's frustrating, but I'm going to keep going through this. They got measurements in the listing, which I like. And we have a stain. It looks like a couple of stains right there on the front. They want $80 plus shipping for this shirt. watch this. I'm going to share another screen. Let's share this tab instead. We're on the Poncho website, and we're going to go to the, this was the original. They're selling for $85. I can find that same shirt with that same pattern. I think it's this one right here. It's close enough anyway. $84.95. This guy wants me to pay $80 plus shipping, which is more. What's the shipping, like $7? So we pay $87 for this one with a logo, a stain, and it's used. And I can buy it on Poncho's website for $85 free shipping. There was a lot going right about this listing right here. You know, I like that they called out the stains. There's a couple of them, it looks like, and they did a close-up. Yeah, look at that. I mean, that's good. We got the measurements in the photo. That's good. There's a description here. This is actually a nifty listing. Look at that. I can tell that that's, I'm on the wrong thing. Share this tab instead. So look at close-up of the stains. I like it. Materials tag. I like it. Measurements in the photo. I like it. And look at this. This is a nifty listing right here with the keywords at the bottom and all this stuff. I like it. It's just overpriced. It's crazy overpriced. A stained shirt with a bad logo, and they want to charge more than the brand new one with no logo, no stains, free shipping right from the company. And I can choose whatever color I want and pattern, and either one's going to be $84.95 cheaper than this one. Crazy stuff right there. Crazy stuff. But anyway, this is my experience going through and shopping for Poncho shirts. Just people overpricing it with stains. Look at this, $100 for a short sleeve Poncho shirt. I can get it for $85 free shipping, brand new condition, with free returns to the company if it doesn't fit me. Poncho or with Poshmark, I can't return it. Like crazy stuff. All these are above with shipping. Some of these are going to be above retail. $79 above retail. $75. That's like close. That's basically retail with shipping. $80. It's above retail with shipping. So anyway, that was a pretty good listing, but just way overpriced. So it's going to sit forever, even though it's a high sell-through rate item. If that person sells that item, if they listed that for $45.99 and took offers, it would sell this week. But instead, that listing is going to be there forever because nobody's going to pay over brand new for that particular shirt, especially with the stains and all that stuff. So hopefully that was fun for you. I ultimately bought 2 shirts from Poncho over the weekend. I don't buy new shirts that are that much money, $85 a piece, but I tried to get them from on Poshmark for cheaper, and in eBay, I did the same thing on eBay, and I couldn't find them for cheaper. I looked on Mercari too, and I was like, I'm spending all this time, which I could be doing other things that are much more productive to try to save me like $20. And I was like, why don't I just buy like the exact color I want with free shipping and returns right from the company? I don't like paying that money for shirts, but I'm like, I love these shirts, and I can always resell them after I wear them this summer and say, you know what, I'm going to resell them, and I'll sell them for $55 or $60 and lose a few dollars off it, but I get to wear the shirt for a little while. So anyway, that was my experience. I ultimately, because people were, I could not find a shirt for me that was what I was looking for, that was a reasonable price, that wasn't stained and all that. So to promote it all, I do. And when first listed, right away, what percentage I vary it between 4 and 6%. I kind of wiggle around with it, but they're all promoted. For cameras and electronics and speakers, they can say it doesn't work. Yeah, it makes sense. I like it. I'm on board with that for sure. Hi, just now joining, but have to catch the replay and wanted to grab some Hooper's Creek. Thanks. I appreciate that, TK. Did you get an order in? We can get you shipped out right here on the live if you're still here. Did an order sneak in past me? Well, I was kind of ranting and raving there. Dashboard. That might have been a viewer's listing, by the way, that I was just looking at. And if it is, I'm not going to say I'm sorry. I was just giving you my experience as a buyer and how I think it's preposterous that you want over retail for that shirt. I got you. I see you, Trish. Are you still hanging, Trish? I'm going to scroll to the bottom. You still hanging, Trish? I'll get you shipped out right here on the live if you're still here. Otherwise, I'll just delay it for a little bit. But just let me know if you're here. Always fun to ship to you when you're on the live. Is that Surf's photo background? How funny would that be if that was actually him? Someone wasn't doing research like you. What's up, Chris? Yeah, I mean, it's not difficult research to know that. Yeah, you just Google poncho shirt. I mean, you don't even have to go into the poncho website. It'll show up in like the Google shopping at the top, and you can see the prices of the shirt. What's up? Costanza shop is in the house. Are you still hanging, Trish? Let me know, and I can ship your stuff out there. Ship your coffee out. If not, I'm just going to move and groove for now, and we'll get back to coffee in a little bit. All right, so big aside, I sold a poncho shirt. This one for $59, flannel, 2XL. Oh, still here. Cool. We got you. I got you. This is fun for me. So thank you, Trish. We got a Hooper's Creek medium roast going out the door. Thank you so much. And ground. So there we go. Some of you probably already know. Some of you might not. We also have our own coffee brand that we launched 3 years ago. You can see Chris at Peak Coffee. This is our best-selling coffee, our medium roast. It's called Hooper's Creek. Got to have tasting notes of just a hint of milk chocolate, but super smooth, super balanced, like crowd pleaser type of coffee right here. It's the first coffee that we launched with. It's just been our best seller right from day one. It's also Kim and I's favorite coffee. We drink more of this than any of our coffee. We love all our kids. We have a light roast, a medium roast, and a dark roast over there. But this is our favorite of the three. It always has been. We drink more of this than the other stuff. It's roasted by our friends down at Dynamite Roasting, which is in Black Mountain, North Carolina. So about a 32-minute drive door to door to get to them. I actually ran into Aaron. We were up in Black Mountain yesterday for dinner and bumped into Aaron from Dynamite Roasting at one of our favorite restaurants up there. So it's good to see Aaron. They're great people, small business up there. They've won Western North Carolina's #1 coffee roaster 13 years in a row. And they're awesome enough to partner with us and allow us to sell our favorite coffee in the whole world. We've been buying this exact coffee from them for years. And now we've branded the Hooper's Creek coffee, the Chris at Peak version of it right here for us. So they roast it fresh for us every single Thursday. They deliver it to our front door Thursday afternoon, and we ship it fresh to you all week long. So thank you, Trish, for your order. We're going to ship this coffee order out right now, and then we're going to get back to some eBay orders. Got some good orders still coming out. If you want to check out our coffee, I'm going to drop a link right there to our website. If you're over on Instagram, I can't drop a link in the chat. I could, but you can't click on it. All you got to do is click on my name on Instagram, and you can go right to my profile, and you will see my coffee website. You can check it out. And good news, we'll talk about this. I'm actually officially launching right now, this very moment, our peak season summer seasonal light roast. So every season we launch a new light roast coffee. And so we're just wrapping up the spring season. Now we're in June. It's officially summer, right, as of yesterday. So we're launching right now, like this very moment. I haven't told anybody yet, but we got the summer seasonal light roast just in stock. And I haven't had a chance to email anybody about it. I just updated the website like 5 minutes before this live. We were away for the weekend, so I didn't have time to do any of this. But it is launching as of right now. If you want to check out that coffee and read about it, you can on the website. Of course, I'm going to tell you about it too. So this light roast is going to be a little bit different than I tasted it for the first time this morning. Definitely different than the springtime light roast. So this one comes from Western Guatemala in San Marcos, actually. And it is going to have tasting notes. It's going to be lively, blackberry, toffee. So what's going to happen with this coffee when you first take a sip of it? It is going to be like, it's brighter than the spring seasonal. So it's going to start off bright. It's going to have this blackberry note in the middle, very, very subtle. It's like, what is that? It's like just a hint of blackberry, which is like this tart kind of sweetness, but it's bright. And then boom, on the finish, it just like really rounds out into this toffee kind of light sweetness, toffee with a T, like a toffee. So lively, blackberry, toffee are the tasting notes for this one. Now, everything I say sounds really extreme, right? It's really muted. It's going to have this like nice subtle brightness up front. You're going to be like, hey, is that like a little hint of blackberry in the background? And then, oh, there's a little sweetness there. I think it's toffee. Very, very muted. This isn't flavored coffee, if that makes sense. It's just that those are the tasting notes just from the roasting process and the beans themselves. And these beans are from a small 26-member coffee cooperative in Western Guatemala. So Central American coffee. Some of our favorite coffees are from Central America and Guatemala specifically. So excited about this one. It was a delicious cup of coffee this morning. Definitely different than the spring, but we're really, really enjoying it. So I am gonna. I only did it this morning out of the drip coffee maker, but I'm gonna make it all the different ways. We're gonna make it cold brew. I'm gonna make it in the French press. Yeah, we're gonna do it all the different ways. Can you mention the website? Yep, I'll drop it right here, Faye. It's in the chat. It's also in the description of the video at any point in time. You can go right to our website. Or you can go to chris@peak.com, just like the name on the screen there, right in the corner, chris@peak.com, and you'll find our coffee website. But hey, I know you. What's up, Chemo? But yeah, really excited to launch this coffee. It's always fun to have a new coffee on board, something new to taste, something new to try. And we dug it this morning. I just had one cup so far, so I feel like I have to have it all the different ways to really kind of get a feel for the coffee. But I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was bright. It was, it's like summertime, bright, kind of peppy cup of coffee for sure. So let's get this shipped out to Trish. Thank you so much, Trish. Thanks for listening to me blab. I know she's like, can I just get my shipping confirmation over here? And we're going to get that over to you right now. So you're going to have an email in your inbox in 2 seconds here with your shipping confirmation, your tracking number. Faster than Bezos. Thank you, Trish. But yeah, you're the first people to know about the spring seasonal light roast. Just because we were away for the weekend, we got it roasted on Thursday and delivered on Thursday. But just running around as we headed out the door on Friday, I was like, I'm just not going to have time to do this launch. But I updated the website right before the live. Tasted the coffee this morning. Just delicious. We're excited about it. Again, the website is in the chat. It's also in the description of this video, or you can go to chris@peak.com. You're welcome, Faye. Any idea why all my photos are out of order when I go to list my item? I can't take pictures of multiple items, then go sit down and list because all of the photos get mixed together. I don't even know to be honest with you, I'm not even sure what do you mean? Your photos get where are they out of order? I'm confused. I'm not sure. A friend bought me some Guatemala coffee. It was great. I love Central American coffee. So our medium roast is also, it's maybe not technically Central America. It's Chiapas, Mexico, but it's the southernmost state of Mexico, which is Mexico's North America, but it's right next to Guatemala and Belize. I mean, it's that, it's the southernmost state. So the coffee, it has profiles that are very similar to a lot of the Central American coffee. And Central American coffee is known for being like very balanced, with like just a hint of sweetness. And of course, the varietal, you can grow a bunch of different varietals, kind of like wines. You can have different grapes, you can have different varietals of beans, so they can taste different. But that region just tends to grow kind of like a nice subtle sweetness to their coffee. And they tend to be kind of very balanced cups of coffee. They don't tend to be like earthy. They don't tend to be particularly especially bright. And I don't think this spring light roast is really that bright compared to some light roast can be brighter. It tends to be more of a sort of a balanced, muted, sort of semi-sweet coffees from that region. And same with our dark roast is 3 different beans from Honduras. So basically Honduras, Guatemala, and Chiapas, Mexico, if you drew like a circle around that area, it's like the size of Texas, right? That basically all the beans for all our coffee at this time come from. The light roast from the spring was from Rwanda, which is obviously very far away. But right now, all our coffees, all 3 of them, are actually from that same like Central American region. And they all kind of have that like very balanced sort of semi-sweet sort of profile to them, which is very typical to that region. So thank you, Trish. You got a confirmation number or a shipping confirmation in your inbox with tracking. That's going out today, so you should get that nice and quick. You're not far away up there in Illinois, so you'll definitely get that before the end of this week, if not like Wednesday, probably Thursday would be my guess. But you've ordered before, you get the timing. So thank you again for coming back for more, Trish. Joining for my first time, any guidance on how to clean hats for resale? The dishwasher is a really great way to clean hats for resale. That would be my first thing off the top of my head, but there's many different ways to do it. I saw it on the website. Sounds interesting, even though I don't normally do light roast. We don't normally do light roast either. In fact, we drink light roast less frequently than the other ones typically, although the spring one, we drank a ton of the spring light roast. We just really, really enjoyed that. that flavor profile. When you drop in the bourbon next, oh my gosh, that would be that's a lot of red tape for that. If you're on desktop and you move pictures from phone to folder, refresh the folder and it will put pictures back in order. Interesting. Good idea, Salt. Nice advice. When I go to list my item and click to add photos, they are all mixed together. When I go to select them, I have to search through all the photos to make sure I don't miss any, if that makes sense. When I go to my list, I click to add photos and they're all mixed together. Maybe we probably have a different listing process. I'm not really sure, but have you maybe try what Salt suggested right there? I'm just not sure. I don't do like that select pictures. I just like drag from a folder and I drop my photos right into Nifty. So I just have a different process than you. So I'm not really sure how to recreate the challenge that you're experiencing. I've just never experienced it. You had me at Blackberry and Toffee, bought one. Thank you, Armstrong. I think you'll like it. I didn't see your order come through, did I? I did. I got you, Armstrong. We'll get you shipped out right now. We got the peak season light roast. Here we go. Boom, right there. Just drop. You're going to get the first bag of it. Well, technically the second bag because Kim and I opened the first bag. So thank you. We'll get you shipped out right now. We'll switch back to eBay after this and get that poncho shipped out. And we have a bunch of orders to do. And we got some great orders coming up for you. So thank you so much, Armstrong, for getting some coffee. We're going to get this out to you right now. 2 shakes of the lamb's tail. You're going to have a shipping confirmation in your inbox. All our coffee, by the way, is available in ground, like if you like it already ground, or whole bean if you like to ground it yourself. So they're all fair trade. They're all organic. This is all top shelf coffee. It really doesn't get better than fair trade, organic, and this is single origin. So all these beans on this light roast come from one single coffee cooperative in Guatemala. So all from that like same little town, same little coffee cooperative. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. It's like when you think of like farm to table, I mean, that's what it is. This is just coming from a small cooperative of little farms all in this one small town in remote Western Guatemala where there's really not much of an economy outside of coffee. Small town stuff. So thank you, Mr. Armstrong. And you got that shipping confirmation in your inbox with your tracking number. It's heading out today. And only going to Pennsylvania. You'll have this, my guess is Thursday you'll have it, but you'll have it before the end of the week for sure. And that tracking number is in your inbox. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Can't wait for your feedback on it. Definitely got to be a brighter coffee than if you had the spring light roast. And that's typical with like light roasts tend to be like a little bit brighter. They're higher caffeine. Most people think that dark roasts are higher caffeine, but typically light roasts have more caffeine in the cup because they haven't been, a light roast means it just hasn't been roasted as long as like a medium roast or a dark roast, right? So dark roasts are roasted longer, therefore more of the flavor comes out of the bean in the roasting process, and more of the caffeine comes out of the bean in that roasting process, right? So a light roast hasn't been roasted as long. There's more caffeine, and there's like more of the natural flavors from the actual bean itself. So that is why you tend to have a little bit more flavors in a light roast, but also a little bit more peppiness from those light roast coffees. People think the opposite is true, but that is not true. It is the light roasts that have the more caffeine. So thank you, Mr. Armstrong. Always a pleasure to ship out coffee to you. And if you want to try our coffee for the first time, you can try the new light roast, but you can also, I would generally suggest, if you haven't tried our coffee before, start with the medium roast. It is just smooth, right down the middle, just very balanced cup of coffee. Hint of sweet milk chocolate, but very, very subtle. It's just a type of coffee that's not going to offend anybody. Just such a crowd pleaser coffee. If you have friends and family coming over, if you make the medium roast, like nobody's going to be like, I don't, this is a little bit too much of this, or it's just so balanced and smooth that everyone's going to like it. So when we have people coming over, same thing. It's like we have all these coffees, like we're going to do the medium roast because that's going to be a winner if we don't know what their tastes are. So if you're trying our coffee for the first time, which I'd love to ship you a bag right now here on the live, I would suggest try the medium roast. But if you know you like dark roast, get a dark roast. If you know you like light roast, just jump in and get the light roast. If you're using Nifty on Desktop Mama, make the browser half screen. Some good advice for you right there. I won't rehash it all, but you can read it. Oh wait, maybe you can't. Yeah, you can read it. But I'll leave it on the screen for a minute, just so everyone can read it. Looks like a blank message. Sorry, Michelle. All right. Just wanted to share, it pays to get to know Goodwill staff. A clerk gave me a big haul today for free as a thank you for my business. Well, that's really nice. Big. That's pretty awesome. That's really awesome. Good for you, Alicia. Hope you got some good stuff. And make it easier by shift clicking, and you can go. There you go. All right, I'm going to jump into some more orders here. So getting back on track, we got way off track with the poncho shirt. We were on Poshmark. I was sharing with you my experience shopping for poncho. Then we got into coffee because Salty got some coffee. So anyway, we're going to ship out this poncho shirt. Great sale right here, $59, and I paid $5 in the thrift store. So poncho is kind of, that's like, I'd say this is like probably the menswear brand right now, like the hot one. There's other hot brands. Poncho is still really hot. Roback's cooling off a little bit. Some people would have said that like Roback was the hottest for a bit, but I feel like Roback's on the downswing. Still a great brand to buy and sell. But Poshmark or Poncho is just really hanging on. Great sell-through rates. I mean, the short sleeve ones from Poncho right now are just like they're selling so fast. But this one's a flannel, sold in 5 days. In the heat of the summer, and this is going to Joshua, Texas. I'm imagining it's pretty warm in Joshua, Texas right about now. We got a whole bunch of eBay orders to do, y'all. We still got Poshmark. We still got Mercari. I got an Amazon order I got to get out too. Another good sale right here. Love the new with tag at the thrift store pickup. So picked up 2 of these, and they're both already gone. So 511 tactical. This is the Tac Light Pro pant. To me, this is like the best 511 to buy and sell. There's a Tac Light Pro shirt and there's a Tac Light Pro pant. And those are the ones with like all the pockets and like all these like little pockets and stuff all over. It's got the little loop and everything. If you find those in shirts and pants, they usually sell pretty quickly for me, especially if you price them right. This one's new without tags. It's got the sticker you could see, but it doesn't have like the actual manufacturer hang tag. So I listed it as new without tags. I accepted an offer of $32.99. I paid $5. I buy these used too, but of course I'm going to buy it new for $5. And it took 3 days to sell. The other one I listed the same day. It took less than a day to sell. Like it sold same day, and it was brand new without tags and without the sticker. And that one sold for like, I think the same price, maybe $32.99 or $31.99. So really great seller, that model Tac Light Pro. Of course, it's a bonus if I can find it brand new without the tags. And I found 2 of them at the same time, back to back, same rack, back to back jack. So that's a really good find. Really excited about that. And to get two pairs of pants out the door, both of them in 3 days, is pretty awesome. Just in and out, money into the bank account. And let's go buy some more stuff. So this is going to Jeff's in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. Did I get that right? Yeah, that's the right one. Trying to walk and chew gum over here. Ever heard of Yada Golf, Chris? I have. I recently bought a polo of that brand. Never heard of them, but it was a sick pattern. But I rarely buy clothes for myself, so maybe a Bolo brand. I don't really think it's a Bolo brand. I think if you find the right pattern on it for the right price, you could flip it. But I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would make a habit of picking up Yada. I don't know that the metrics support that, but I'd have to look it up. But I have bumped into it before. I've bumped into it used. I've bumped into it new, and I've always passed on it. But if I came across a unique one, I'd probably give it a second look. So I'd have to look up the one that you're talking about and just kind of look at sell-through rates and look at average sale price and all that stuff. But off the top of my head, I feel like that's probably not a Bolo brand. But I've been wrong before. Where are those stickers? Found them. But you'll have to let me know like what you're seeing on the metrics for that. I bought on eBay, not Thrift. Oh, gotcha. Do you like the shirt? Like you bought it for yourself? I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. Sometimes I'm a little slow. Just bought some coffee for grandparents. I'll see how they like it. Nice. Thank you so much. That's really awesome of you. That's really awesome. Let's get that shipped right out for you. After this, we got another one of those Collars & Co. Actually, I think that's I think I have 6 Collars & Co. going out the door. I see you, Salt. You want the whole bean, right, for your parents? You got the medium roast whole bean. What did I just miss? So thank you, Swiss. I appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, there you are. Now I see you. Thank you. And whole bean for the parents. They got their own grinder. I always double check that for people just in case. Yeah, it's comfortable. I searched geometric and size. No brands. Gotcha. Cool. I like it. Cool. Whole bean going out the door for you. This bag almost feels like it's... Dang. I was going to say, this feels like a heavy bag. It is a heavy bag. I don't see this very often. I don't know if you can tell. That's a big bag. Look at that. See how much tall? I don't know if you can really tell. See how much taller that one is? That's the one you're getting. It's over a pound of coffee right there for the same price. It's so big, I don't know if it's going to fit in this bag here. In my usual bag. They're usually like spot on with their weights. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to fit in this bag. I'm going to use a bigger bag. That's funny. You got a heavy one. I picked it up. I was like, this, like we spend so much time like putting stuff on the scale, like weighing stuff. You just kind of get a feel for weights. Man, you got a heavy bag coming your way. 1.1 pounds on this. 1 pound, 1 ounce, I should say, on this. So your parents are getting a good deal on this. Let's see. I have to update the weight here on the bag, on the weight here. 8.4. Getting a good deal. All right, Swiss, you got a shipping confirmation in your inbox. I don't know that I've seen that before. We've shipped a few bags of coffee over the past 3 years. I don't know if I've ever seen one that punched in over a pound. So I guess they like you at our roasters. Thank you, Swiss. Appreciate you. Heading out today, and that's going to Michigan. Thursday or Friday, I'd say that's going to get there. If I was a gambling man, I'd say Thursday, but it will go out today. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Thanks for supporting our small biz. If anyone wants to check out the coffee, I'll drop the link right there. If you missed it, we did launch our summer seasonal light roast today. Like, we launched it on this live, which is pretty cool. So we shipped out our first bag of it. Should say the second bag. Kim and I had the first bag. So we didn't have the whole first bag, but we tried. We had a pot. All right. Next up, thank you again, Swiss. Next up is a new Collars & Co. Thanks for stopping by. You are now blocked. Thanks for sharing all caps message. You always, whenever I see all caps, you know whatever's coming next is probably not very coherent. All right, Collars & Co. going out the door, $38.98. This was on a best offer. This one's a size 3 extra large. This is brand new with tags. Sold 6 of these over the weekend. We're shipping out orders from the last 3 days. Typically, I ship on Saturdays too. So on Mondays, I'm usually just shipping 48 hours worth of sales. But today, we're shipping 72 hours worth of sales because Kim and I headed out of town early Friday afternoon to visit the family in Winston-Salem. Spent some time with Kim's mom and dad, Kim's brother and sister, and our 3 nieces and 1 nephew out there. So had a good time catching up with everybody. Celebrating Dad. Went out for a nice dinner. Hit all caps. It's true. You know it's true. But hope everybody had a good Father's Day weekend. Spent time with the family. Maybe got some time outdoors. Maybe you watched the U.S. Open. I really didn't get to watch any of the U.S. Open, but I try to watch the majors, but just didn't really have the time this weekend. Next up is a Robert Graham. This one took a little while to sell. This one actually took a couple years to sell. I did lower the price finally. I was priced too high. Got it down to $23.97, and it sold for that full asking price, $23.97. I think I had it priced like closer to $30 and just wasn't getting any takers. These Robert Grahams, it does have a kind of cool pattern, right? Kind of cool, but just not cool enough. Just kind of on the edge right there. But if you get it priced lower, you can move a shirt like this. So $23.97 seems like that's the answer right there. I think I probably had it. Maybe I had it in the low 30s at first. I forget. It's just not quite cool enough. But sold for $23.97 plus $6.95 shipping, and it's going to Wayland, Massachusetts. Going to Jonathan. I'm regretting leaving behind a Buffalo Bills jacket at the thrift store. If I go back, I'm sure it will be gone. Bummer. What was the brand? Do you remember? You know what I'm going to say, though? The most important thing is, sounds like you learned something, right? You were there, you passed on it for a specific reason, you got home, you realized you made a mistake. The most important thing is you learned, so that next time you're better equipped to make that that in-store decision. I think that's more important than like actually getting that item. Like, learning every day is way more important than like getting that one extra piece. I don't golf, but love watching the major championships. Same here. I do too. I'm regretting leaving behind a Buffalo. Okay. It looks like a duplicate one there. Sorry. All right, so that one's out the door. Next up, we got a whole bunch of orders still. I'm like honestly just getting started. We were just like flapping our gums about so much stuff. Well, I was flapping my gums. Y'all were listening. This one's going to San Jose, Puerto Rico. It is a corduroy Brooks Brothers shirt, brand new with tags. Picked it up for $5 at the Thrift. Love finding new with tags at the Thrift. Sold for full asking price, $36.99. Nice bright orange color. Going to San Juan, Puerto Rico. Shipping label on this is going to cost me $6.90 because it's still US, right? It's still US territory. So it is USPS, and it's going ground advantage, and it's not going very far. It's actually, this shirt would be more expensive going to California than it is going to Puerto Rico. Now, if I was in California and it was shipping to Puerto Rico, I think it would probably be pretty expensive, but anyway, out the door on this one, paid $5, sold for $36.99 plus shipping. I like that one. Go Bills. There you go. Are you up in that neck of the woods, motivated mama? We're just catching up. I like it. Next up is an Orbis. This isn't a cotton Orbis. This is a nylon, like vented moisture wicking shirt. These and a lot of these brands like Orbis, Cabela's, what's that other one? Why can't I think of it? Duluth Trading, like all those like kind of store outdoor brands, even Eddie Bauer to some degree too. If you can find the moisture wicking vented ones, these are the ones that people are going to wear to go like hiking or fishing, right? It's a piece of gear, or they're going to wear it because they want to look like they're going hiking and fishing for that style, right? These tend to sell a little bit better. This sold on a best offer, $18.99. Nice plaid pattern on this one too. I paid $5 at the thrift store, like a $10 profit item right there. It's the type of thing, like it fills up the cart. And they sell, like this is the time of year that somebody's going to buy that type of thing, like a Columbia too, very similar to a Columbia shirt. So this is going to Fallbrook, California. And just a basic bread and butter pickup right there. Next up is definitely not like a summertime feel type of item, but we also shipped out a similar item to this last week in the middle of the summer too. So this is an Eddie Bauer puffer, like goose down puffer vest. It's a women's vest, and it's got the faux fur hood that you can see right there. So these are a good seller for me. Goose down Eddie Bauer is always a pickup for me, men's and women's, a lot of different models. Not all models are made the same. Some can be worth like double this, but I sold this one for $23 because it's off season. It's not a particularly great style. I don't love the style of this jacket. I just had some weird vibes about it. So just happy. I paid $7 for it. I'm not going to make a ton of profit. Sold it for $23 in the middle of the summer and just move on from it. I mean, I'm making profit. Don't get me wrong. It'll be probably $10 profit, but I don't know. When I bought it in the store, I wasn't really vibing with it. When I was listing it, I wasn't really vibing with it. It's been up for a few months. And I was like, I just want to get rid of it. So $23. Let's move on. Let's make our $10. Not everything has to be a giant win. How long was that listed? I mean, I listed it in September. It's been listed for 9 months. See ya. You know what I mean? It had the winter to sell, and it didn't. So let's just go ahead and get rid of it now. We got a buyer on the table with an offer on the table. Let's just go. Let's move it. It had its chance. It's had 9 months. It didn't go. We can still make profit and just move along. I like it. Let's just go. Now we can use that money to buy more stuff. Because we had we had $7 when I bought this. And now I made $10 profit on it. So now I have $17 back to go and buy more stuff. So let's do that. And now we have space to put it as well. So that's the thoughts on that. But I do sell a lot of those like around the $30 mark. That one, I don't know. I would buy it again. Don't get me wrong. I'd take the $10 profit, but I probably should have priced it a little bit more aggressively so I could have sold it 6 months ago. You live and you learn, though. Ex Officio, men's size large. I don't buy everything from this brand. This one is, again, I like picking up the ones that are a more modern tag, a nice plaid pattern on this one, and it's like that moisture wicking. This is I think it's nylon. Doesn't say right there, but it's a moisture wicking, quick dry, ventilated. It's got the vents in the back, kind of like this shirt does, like that kind of vent thing going on. This is actually an Orbis shirt, very similar to the one that we just shipped out, by the way. But this Ex Officio sold in a matter of it was a couple hours, and this is on a nifty best offer, $19.79. So I listed it for $21.99. Nifty sent a 10% off offer to the watcher on this, and it was gone within a couple hours. My fastest sale of the whole week right here. And it's an Ex Officio. Again, I don't pick up everything from this brand. A more modern one, moisture wicking, something that you would wear to hike and fish. Those do pretty well. Sold in a couple hours, $19.79. Got to make $10. This one's going international. So again, I'm shipping this one to Glendale Heights, Illinois, and I'm paying $5.83 for the shipping label. Buyer paid $6.95 for shipping. So eBay is going to take care of getting it internationally. So the customer paid eBay for international shipping. They paid me for the domestic shipping to Glendale Heights. eBay is going to take care of it the rest of the way, wherever it happens to be going to overseas. Super, super easy. This is actually our third international order going out so far from the weekend, so we'll take that. No, I'm in Virginia, but definitely part of the Mafia. I can't wait to see the new stadium. Yeah, that should be interesting. Should be interesting for sure. I love a lot of my Goodwill staff. Occasionally, a couple of them will give me 20% off coupons, but no access to any good or free stuff. That's nice that you can get those 20% off coupons. I don't get any favors from my local Goodwill staff. I don't think they're like allowed to do favors. I think they're pretty tight about everything. Can't believe I just found a Roback quarter zip pullover for $3.99. Win. Nice, Adam. Good one right there. I actually just picked one up too. I listed one last week. Not a common find for me either. So glad you grabbed one. That's really cool. I was excited when I found one, so I can imagine you're pretty excited too. Got a pair of Duluth Trading pants. These are always a great seller for me. This model right here is the Flex Fire Hose. It says it on the inside of the waistband right there. This is like a staple in my store. I find them a ton in this area, and they sell really well for me. This one sold for $25.19. This was also on a Nifty best offer. So I think these were listed at $27.99, and then Nifty sent a 10% off offer to Alan, who was watching this item. So I like it. Let's see how quickly this one sold. I feel like this one, I find them so often. I might be confusing it with another one. Nope, it sold in 4 days. So just listed this middle of last week, and it's already gone. So gotta love that. Now, all Duluth Trading isn't gonna sell for the same price and for just as fast. Different models have different sell-through rates. This one's Flex Fire Hose Canvas Stretch. But there's all sorts of different models as you get familiar with the different ones. Some of them have better sell-through rates than others, but usually if there's like Flex Fire Hose or Flex something in the title for Duluth, it's probably a pretty good seller, like in the $25 to $30 range. But there's some that are more on like the top end of that range, and there's some that are more on the bottom end of that range. This one I'd say is somewhere in the middle, so that's why I listed it for $27.99. And but anyway, out the door. Just 4 days on this one. Nice quickie for $25.19 on the Nifty best offer. Next up after this is an interesting one. This one comes with a story. Oh, never mind. This is just another Collars & Co. I think this is actually the 7th Collars & Co. of the weekend. Forgot about this one too. It's black, so it just kind of blended in. So solid black, a large relaxed fit. Collars & Co. brand new without the tags on this one. Sold for best offer $35.99. This is going to Jamie. This is the most I've sold of these in one weekend. I think that's the 7th. So that's pretty good, just getting these moving. This is a short sleeve one, so it kind of makes sense that these would be hot in the summertime. New Collars & Co. The next one kind of comes with a little bit of a story. So I was pulling orders on Friday. In one of the bins, I noticed a New Tags Pendleton board shirt. Now, I had picked up like maybe a dozen or so Pendleton board shirts like a couple years ago on clearance, online arbitrage, right? Found them. I was like, ooh, these are on sale. I'm going to scoff up all these. So I thought I sold out of all of them, but there was still one out in the bin. I double checked on Nifty to see if it was listed. It wasn't. So I just copied the old listing, set the quantity to 1 because I had at one point like 12 or I don't know how many it was. It might have been 20. So I just copied that listing while I was out in the garage, like pulling up the rest of my orders, and just right on the mobile phone, copied the listing, got it up on all the platforms, nice and easy. And it sold. And was it the next day? It sold the next day for one best offer of $113.99. $113. So I just found $113 or $114 hanging out in my garage. I really need to go out there and do like an audit of all my inventory. But this one caught my eye. I'm like, man, these sold out a long time ago. There's no way that this is still in my inventory. So double checked, and glad I did, because that's like a free $114 sale right there for me. You can see it says board shirt. These retail for $168, I think. $169, I take that back. Just a really good seller, new and used. New or used, I should say. You ever had that happen before? Just came across an item that you're like, oh, what the heck? I thought this was already gone. So it's like finding money. I mean, it's literally like finding money. So this one's going to Christine, going out to Portland, Oregon. So obviously you probably know that Pendleton is an Oregon-based company. No surprise that this is going right back to Oregon. Thank you, Christine. Our Goodwill does 20% off coupons for donations. I donate every time I go, and I always get them anyways, but appreciate the extras. That's cool. Yeah, we don't get any kind of coupon for donating at our Goodwills. We don't have that sort of thing. It's cool that you get it, though. You have to be invited to the eBay international shipping program, right? How do you see that? I'm new, and I'm a bit scared of international shipping. I have it set for just U.S. right now, and not Alaska and Hawaii. Good to know about Puerto Rico. I'm in Florida, so that would be cheap, I guess. So Patty, I've had the international shipping program turned on they launched a new international shipping program, I want to say about 3 years ago. It used to be called the Global Shipping Program, but then they retired that one and replaced it with a new one. But I've always had this I had the Global Shipping Program turned on for years. Then when they brought this new one on, I immediately turned it on. And I don't know that I've ever had an issue with an eBay international order. And we get a lot of them, including 3 so far from the past weekend. I don't know if there's more. There might be more. I mean, I generally get, there's another one actually that's international that's coming up too. So that'll be 4 for the weekend. So, I mean, that's a lot of sale, right? I'd take those. Like 4 sales means a lot. Like 4 extra sales means a lot to our business for the weekend, right? As far as how to turn it on, I'm probably just going to Google what you just asked. Let me copy and paste that. But I'm just going to copy and paste. I'm just going to Google, how do I turn on eBay international shipping? To enable eBay international shipping, the easiest and most secure method is using, just Google this. I'm just going to drop this. Just put this into Google, and it will give you step-by-step instructions on how to turn it on. I don't remember. I Googled it because I just don't remember what it was like to turn it on. I've had it on for so long, but I don't think there's an invite for it. I think you just go and turn it on, and I would suggest turning it on. There's really no downside to it. International shipping is safer as a seller than it is for U.S. buyer on average if you're concerned about returns or whatever. Yeah, eBay takes care of like all the customer service with that customer returns. Like it's once they get the item, you get it there to their international shipping center in Glendale Heights, Illinois. Once you get it there, they take care of the rest. You don't got to worry about nothing. So, I was reading that comment as if it wasn't me, but I just put that into Google, and you'll get the step-by-step instructions on how to do it. And I'm not saying I'm not trying to push back and say, don't ask me questions, just Google it. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying that Google in this case has a better answer than me because I don't remember the step-by-step instructions. So Google will be better for that one than I am. I just don't have it memorized, but Google's got it right there. Next up is somebody said lost volume, can't hear you. I don't think we're having issues with volume. It seems like people are hearing what I'm saying. So maybe you just need to restart or something like that, like swipe in and swipe out. You're welcome, Patty. Hope you're well. Love the question too. And don't be intimidated by that, the international shipping. You literally just ship it to, that was a USPS Ground Advantage label, and it's going to Glendale Heights. That's all I got to do. It's just like shipping any other order. There's nothing I do differently. Next up is a great sale. A lot of 2 Verity shirts right here. They're both t-shirts. Now, in a lot of, usually $5 for a t-shirt, even like a premium brand like Verity is not probably worth it. But these Faraday size 2 extra large Sunwash t-shirts just have good sell-through rate, good average sale price. So I grabbed them. I paid $5 a piece. I don't buy and sell a lot of t-shirts because my Goodwill's prices them at $5. If they were priced at like $1 or $2, I think it's a different story. I think there's more opportunity to buy and sell them. But this Faraday was definitely a buy for me. I paid $5 a piece. They sold. I listed them together as a bundle for $39.99. So I paid $10 for this bundle. Sold this bundle for $40. Great little flip right there. The profit on that will be grand total. eBay is going to pay me out after fees, after shipping. They're paying me out $33.42. So I'm going to make $23 in profit on this order right there. So not bad at all. And it took 31 days exactly to sell those. So 1 month out the door. I suppose I should put these in a shipping bag before I put them out the door. Huh? We got a ton of orders still to get out. It was a busy weekend over here, and this is actually 3 days of sales instead of usually on Mondays. I'm shipping out 2 days of sales because I ship most Saturdays, but I did not ship this Saturday. So this is going to Wendy and Metairie, Louisiana. Little t-shirt bundle out the door. I like it. How are sales in your neck of the woods? What trends are y'all seeing in the reselling world? What's moving good for you? What's stuck in the mud? Next up is an order for Benjamin Prana shirt right here. These aren't really a great pickup. I've owned a few of this almost identical shirts to this one over the years. Prana, it's like a this one's like a cotton blend, like a cotton polyester blend, short sleeve, button up, kind of a classic plaid pattern right here. This one sold for $17.98. I had lowered the price, and then it sold for full asking price. You know, Prana, I hear a lot of people say, like, I don't buy and sell Prana. That brand doesn't sell anymore. Yes, that is, some of Prana doesn't sell very well anymore. This would be an example of it. Like just their regular shirts just don't do that great. There's some examples of shirts that do okay, but this $17.98 from $5 is not like an awesome sale. And I had to lower the price to, down to $17.98. Probably would have sold faster if I just started at $17.98. But I think I had it at like $21 or something, which is very typical shirt price for me, is like $21 or $21.99. But anyway, Prana pants can sell really, really well, especially if you find the ones that people wear for hiking, like the Prana Zions or the Prana Bryans. Like those sell really, really well. I actually just listed a couple this weekend. But yeah, just like basic shirts like this can be a tough seller. A lot of Prana women's can be a tough seller, but women's hiking pants like the Prana Holly 2, great seller. The Prana Splash, decent seller too, another hiking pant. Shipped one of those out on Friday. So both men's and women's hiking pants for Prana, good. Now, like casual wear cotton pants, not as good. The ones that people would wear that are stretchy, that are moisture wicking with cargo pockets for hiking, that stuff's good. I had 13 sales from late Thursday to late Sunday, which is pretty good for me. Nice desert rain. I love it. Love that 13 sales. Polo shirts on Depop flying out the door. Flying out the door. I love to hear that. Next up is an Eddie Bauer pair of pants. I actually do pretty good with Eddie Bauer pants, better than shirts. This is a pair of Climatrail cargo crop pants. These are women's size 12. They have they're belted and they have an elastic waistband with a built-in belt. These sold on the nifty best offer of $17.09. This one's going to Washington, D.C. And these are cargo crop pants, so like a capri. And with the Eddie Bauers, I don't do a lot of the women's ones. I do some of the women's ones, but I do more men's. And the Eddie Bauer like Travex pants, which is one of their lines, sells really well. All the first ascent pants from Eddie Bauer are worth a pickup if you can get them for, say, $8 or less. I like the Eddie Bauer, like the basic Eddie Bauer line. There's a pant called the Rainier or the Rainier Tech pant. Good seller, right around the $25 range. But those Prana pants that we were talking about, like Zion or Brian, like I sell those ones for 30 to 35 consistently. The Zions are really easy to spot because those ones are belted. This one's going to Alyssa. Thank you, Alyssa. Shipping one now is going to Johns Island, South Carolina. We were just down there a few months ago. And this is a very Johns Island type of item right here. So this is a brand new with tags pair of Rourke shorts right here. You can see the retail price, $66. And look at that cool print on them. It's like I guess it's a board short. Yeah, it's like a board swim hybrid type of style of short. He sold on a best offer of $22. I got these really cheap retail arbitrage back in January and sold for $22. I don't think I realized these were new maybe when I accepted this offer. How did I have them listed for? Maybe I did. Maybe I did. Oh, I had them listed for $25.98. So I had lowered the price from something higher because they sat around and weren't selling. And I want to sell all my swim trunks and board shorts and hybrid shorts. I want to sell them right now. So I lowered the price to $25.98. Got the $22 offer. Great. Let's just move it along. So I thought they were going to be worth more like $30, but sometimes you just got to let your own inventory tell you what it's worth. And if they sit around for 6 months, it's the middle of the summer, they still haven't moved. I guess it's the start of summer, but it's the middle of summer buying season. It's kind of the tail end of summer buying season, frankly. So I'm just going to move these. Going to Johns Island, South Carolina. You know, Chad, thank you for your order. Chad's going to have his best day wearing these down there. He's going to have just an awesome day with the boys, wearing his new swim trunks out on the beach. Make a sandcastle. You live your best life, Chad. Nice pair of shorts right there. I'd rock those at the beach. Golf polos, that is. I feel you. I feel you, Muppet. Next up is, I'm not going to pack this one up. I think I'm going to do a video with this one later. So this is an Eaton men's size 15.5, 39, which is like a small to medium. We can see it's got the spread collar. It's solid white. Eaton solid white shirts, really great seller. I made a video about this when I found it, and I got comments from people saying Eaton doesn't sell, it just sits forever. And I was like, y'all do realize that this video is about Eaton, plain solid white button down. It's the only Eaton shirt in this video that I'm talking about. And you're telling me that Eaton doesn't sell, but this is a great seller. So if you look at Eaton shirts in general, their sell-through rate, like just all Eaton button down or button front shirts. If you just look at all Eaton shirts, they sell at something like 35 to 40% sell-through rate. But if you look at the white ones only, if you filter it for white, the sell-through rate's like 80%, which is a really good sell-through rate for men's clothing. 80% sell-through rate. But people you have to learn the subtle differences, and this one's not so subtle, but this is a very common thing. These solid white shirts in menswear, if you find it, a Brooks Brothers one, right? It's going to have a higher sell-through rate, and it's going to have a higher average sale price than most other Brooks Brothers. The white just gets more money and sells faster. It's just in more demand. It's just people need white shirts, they need white shirts, right? That's it. And that's true for a lot of brands. Not every brand, but when you find the solid whites on these dress shirt brands, menswear brands like this, like Eaton, like Canali, those sorts of things, Brooks Brothers, you're going to get more money, better sell-through rate. They're going to sell faster. And it's just, I can't stress that enough to people that you have to learn those differences. You're not selling brands, you're selling items. You're telling, like when people tell me that this item is just going to sit, it's like, no, you're not paying attention. You have to pay attention to the details. And this one's not so subtle. It's an obvious detail. You can see it from here. It is a solid white dress shirt. This one also has a French cuff too. It's a really important little detail. This one sold for $35.99. Most Eaton shirts, if it's not solid white, I'm going to list it probably somewhere around $27.99, $28.99. This one I listed for $39.99 and accepted an offer of $35.99. So tremendous difference. That French cuff plus that solid white, big difference from just a regular Eaton shirt. And this is the thing that's going to take your reselling game to a whole nother level when you stop just like looking at brands and you start learning at like looking beyond the brand. What are the unique features about this shirt that's going to help the sell-through rate and help the average sale price? So this one sold for $35.99. And I knew I had to do a follow-up video because I knew the item was going to sell for quickly and for good money. And even though people were telling me that it wouldn't, they probably had some choice words for me. This took 7 days to sell. So I'm going to do a video with this one later on. And actually, I'll put it right over here. I was going to throw it, and I'll put it right over here with its shipping label. I got that right. Y'all learn those details. This is all easy stuff to research. All you got to do is just filter for white, or like put in the keyword French cuff and see how that impacts the sell-through rate and the average sale price. What I'm doing is not rocket science. Anybody can learn how to do this stuff. And it only takes a few seconds. By the way, this is the first time I've caught you live. I've been watching your content for a while. I grew up in Tampa, Brandon. Nice. I know that area. Actually, I've been in Denver for about 20 years now. Nice. Well, thanks for jumping on for the live. Appreciate you watching all the content. I meant to mention this in the last post, but I love your positive attitude. Seems like a really good guy. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing that. That means a lot to me. I also used to live in Tampa, and before that, I lived in Denver. I actually started this reselling business 8 years ago, so it would have been 2018. July is really when I got serious about selling on eBay. So, and I lived in Denver. I lived in a neighborhood called Low-High, and I'm sure you probably know that neighborhood, Lower Highlands. And so that was where this whole journey started. Started this business out of a one-bedroom apartment on the third floor. Was it the third floor or was it the fourth floor? I think it was the third floor, like just in an apartment complex. So, and just used storage in my closet to start, and then bought a used dresser from a friend when she was moving out of our building, and that became storage for the business. And then I ultimately got a storage unit within like the building. Like I walked down the hall, and it was like one of those little 5x7 units that you can rent right from the apartment complex, which was nice and super convenient. But that's how I started the business. It doesn't take like a big warehouse and all that sort of stuff. And it's still run 100% out of the house. I don't have a storage unit, and I don't have no warehouse or nothing. It's run out of this house. This is our second bedroom of our house. This is the office. This is where all the listing and all the shipping obviously happens here. And then in our one-car garage is where 90% of the inventory is stored. The rest is in this office as well too. Next order, but thanks for jumping on board, Design Muppet String. It's good to have you. Thanks for watching all the content. Glad you're enjoying it, and always appreciate compliments. Next up in the order on eBay is a Walter Hagen. I don't buy this brand used, and I very rarely even buy it new. It is $70 retail, but brand new with tags. This sold for full asking price, $18.99. Nice shirts, but they just don't command resale value. I got these for like $3 to $4 a piece, retail arbitrage. Bought something like 35 or 40 of them, and I've been selling them off. So $18.99, and again, these were like multi-quantity listings, which I really love. Just makes it super easy. Set the quantity to 8 on this shirt, whatever it was, 12. I don't know what it was. I had a few different sizes of the same pattern, but one listing, one set of photos, one round of measurements, and then just set the quantity to 7. And as they sell, just ship them off. It takes just a minute to basically to ship out this shirt. So not getting rich on this one sale, but let's say there was 12 of these to begin with. Every time one of those sells, I'm basically making like $10, and nice and easy. Not a lot of time to get it listed. Next up is got a couple more of these Collars & Co. shirts. Another one of these solid peach ones. This is a men's size large out the door, Collars & Co. See, brand new with tags. Retail on these is like right around $80. This was a Shark Tank brand. Blew up really quickly. This is going to Harvey. One of the sharks, I think, invested in it. I forget who it was now. This one's going to Orlando, Florida, and we got back-to-back Collars & Co. They're both size large. and they're going to two. For a second, I was like, maybe this is the same customer, but nope, two separate customers, but back-to-back Collars & Co. What do you know? How's everyone's Monday going? What's happening out there? Got some wind picking up outside. Part of the reason I know it is I got a pair of pants out there that kind of had a smell to it from the thrift store. So what I do is I'll spray it down with Febreze, and then I'll just leave it outside on a hanger and just let it get some UV, UV from the sun and some fresh air. A couple of days of that, it'll take care of that smell, and we'll be able to ship it out, and it'll be fine. But I can see the pants out there are like whipping all over the place. So we got some wind moving in, but it's been a hot and humid weekend, that's for sure. Here's that other Collars & Co. men's size large, brand new with tags. This one sold for $38.98. The last one, sold for $41.98. So back to back on those. I picked all these up from a Whatnot seller back in February. And we sold like 7 of them this weekend. I bought, I think, 85 or 90 to begin with, and they just been selling off. But this is probably the best weekend of sales for them, which is impressive because we had so many of them. It gets harder to sell a lot of them quick now because I have less and less SKUs. Like, there's just less to sell. So you, generally speaking, when you buy like big retail lots, the sales are quick at first and they kind of slow down over time because you just have less to sell. But a good weekend for them. It's also very in season. That's a short sleeve, moisture wicking dress shirt. So very, very in style right now, or in season. Another rugby shirt, another international eBay order. Land's End. It's a modern Land's End tag. Land's End rugby. You can see the stripes across the front. That white collar with the rubber buttons right there. You can see it's like got the hidden buttons. You can't see the rest of them, which is very typical to that rugby shirt style. I think rugby shirts are going to be crazy hot in the fall. And I sold 2 of them this weekend. Both of them long sleeves, both of them that like heavy cotton. And they're both international sales too. That's interesting. Where's this one going? The last one was literally going to Australia. So I wonder which is such a, when you think about rugby, I think of Australia, right? Is this one going to Australia too? No way. This one's going to Australia too. That's funny. What are the odds? So this one sold for a best offer of $25. This one's the Land's End. The other rugby I sold was an LL Bean rugby. Both of them going international to Australia. What are the freaking odds? That's crazy. Well, that's crazy. Well, this is going to Mark. I guess we can conclude from that rugby shirts must be hot in Australia, because the shipping to Australia is going to be expensive on this. That's between eBay and the buyer. I don't collect that money. eBay collects the international portion. I just got to ship this to Glendale Heights, Illinois, to the eBay international shipping facility, and they take care of it from there. Get it to the buyer. That's interesting. Rugby is popular, so that makes sense. It's going to Oz. Yeah, interesting. Interesting stuff. And that one was a quick sale too. Give me a second. I'll tell you how long it took to sell. Did I not mark that one as sold on my spreadsheet? Let's check. I think I missed it. I did. God, I just caught that. So I listed that yesterday. Okay, so that was a quick one. And the other one I think sold in like, what did we say, 28 days? So like 2 pretty quick sales from the rugbies. I paid $5 a piece for those at the thrift store. is now marked as sold. Out the door. Our bin is full, so I'm going to have to figure out a box or something here. Happy Monday, everybody. Y'all get like a case of the Mondays? Is that a thing? I don't really get that. I also do a little bit of work every weekend too, so the weekends are kind of a blur with work too. It kind of blends, but I don't get like a case of the Mondays. Not usually. Next up is an order for Jonathan. Where did that order go? Oh, there it is. Got a Good Golf. This is the second one that we sold over the weekend. The other one was a stripy one. This is a men's size medium. Sold for a best offer of $27.99. Brand new with tags. The logo, it's going to be hard to see on the shirt because it's a nice floral pattern, but, well, Good Golf. As I said earlier, Good Golf is a YouTube channel for golf, obviously. And now they have like their own apparel too. It seems like a really big business. If you're interested in golf at all, it'd be worth your time, I think, to check out Good Golf, their YouTube channel. They just do some really interesting like golf videos. I think they're edited really well. They're kind of like, it's engaging, fun stuff. And, just making golf like a little bit more loose and a little bit more fun and lively. It's less stiff, as golf has a tendency to be. They built themselves quite the brand, and now they got their own clothing too. Not something I run into. I probably found it once used at a thrift store before, a pair of pants. I've never found a shirt from them, but I found a whole bunch of retail arbitrage, Good Golf back in January, and picked up everything that I saw of it, which was a lot, probably like 40 or 50 pieces. This is going to an address which is very obviously a freight forwarder address in Wilmington, Delaware. I'm not going to share the address, but the name of it is like literally it's a freight forwarder business title on here. So this is ultimately going to a customer that's overseas. And so I'm going to ship this to Wilmington, Delaware, and that freight forwarder will ship this to their customer. And those freight forwarding companies tend to be good customers. I don't tend to have issues with them. I actually did a post about this on the internet the other day, and from one of the biggest freight forwarders called Shop Airlines. I had a sale just last week to them. They're one of the biggest buyers on eBay, and what they do is they buy stuff for customers who are in Japan. So then they'll buy it. It'll all go to their facility. They'll put it in probably big pallets or cartons, and they'll have that stuff shipped all together in one big carton because it's cheaper to ship in bulk like that, right? And they'll ship that over to Japan, and then they'll have a facility in Japan that will then distribute, ship those items to their people domestically within Japan. So I don't know anything about this one particular company here. I'm not familiar with them, but a similar sort of model, I'm sure, where they're just buying stuff for buyers overseas, and same thing. They get it shipped to them, and they'll ship it to their facility overseas, or maybe they'll ship it direct to the customer. I'm not sure. My guess is that they ship it to like a facility that they have overseas, and then they distribute it to the customer from there. But they tend to be good customers. I haven't had any issues with them, and but sometimes you can just tell by the address, and this is one of those times that I can just tell. Aussies are having a good sports year, I hear, except the soccer. I like that. Rugby World Cup begins October 26th. Australia is co-hosting. Interesting. So who are they co-hosting with? It must be like New Zealand. I guess there's not really like much else nationwide that would be close enough to co-host. So is it Australia, New Zealand? Sounds like I need to go through my death pile and find all the rugby shirts. There you go. I found 2 rugbies in Marshalls, one Mexico and the other Brazil, sold in a week. Boom. Love that. Nice one. What time did you start today? About 1 o'clock, Mendy. Maybe 1:15, I think. How are you, Mendy? Hope you're having a good start to your week. Next up is an order for the Big Man's Closet. All right. So that's literally the name on the shipping label, the Big Man's Closet. So this is going to Georgia, and it is a brand new tag pair of
Varick Slim Straight Jeans from Polo Ralph Lauren. You can see the retail on these is $125. This sold for $59.99 on eBay. Typically, these jeans in used condition, any of the Polo Ralph Lauren jeans, typically sell for me between like 25 into the low 30s. But this one's brand new, obviously. I picked this up retail clearance. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it was less than $60. I can say that much. These are only going to Georgia, so the buyer paid $8.95 shipping. But I'm just in Asheville, North Carolina, so we're just a few hours from the Georgia border, like 2.5-ish, and so it's only $6.68 to ship these there. And this is going, I think, at a 3-pound rate. So out the door, got a couple more eBay orders, and then we're going to shift into some Poshmark orders after that. Also got a Mercari order and an Amazon order. If you find any Vineyard Vines 2XL performance long sleeve shirts, I'll buy every one you have. I just listed a Vineyard Vines performance shirt over the weekend. I'm going to see what size it is. My terrible memory tells me that it was a XL, but it could be any size, honestly. But I feel like it was an XL. It was an XL. So it wasn't it wasn't a 2X. Let me just see if I happen to have any in stock right now. I don't believe so. I don't have any Vineyard Vines 2XL in stock at the moment. I do, but it's not a performance. Yeah, I have a 2XL. It's a cotton 2XL, like a nice little checky pattern. I'll just show it to you since I'm already looking at it. I'll just share my screen right quick. I know this isn't exactly what you're looking for, but it's a nice shirt. So there it is. Vineyard Vines, 100% cotton linen. Oh, it's 100% linen. Sorry, it's a linen shirt. Linen. I said cotton. My bad. Linen Tattersall shirt. There you go. 100% linen. Measurement. $2XL. Figured I'd throw it out there. I was looking at it anyway. But I don't have any performance on hand right now. Just the XL. You have helped me. You have helped my 3.5-hour drive go by faster. That's awesome, Swiss. Glad to be glad to be in your passenger seat. New Zealand and New Guinea. Nice. That's kind of cool. Thanks for Googling it. Wilmington, Delaware is known for freight forward. I'm so proud. Yay. What a thing to be known for, right? When it comes to Levi's, what would you say are the top 6 sizes to buy? I don't know. I mean, it would depend. I would look up what you have. I don't know, because the size, a good size for 501 might be a bad size for 541. Do you see what I mean? So I don't think I don't think my answer would help you, because I don't think there's an across the board, here's the best size in every model, because different shape people tend to like different styles, and so you might find that, like, for a 550, and this would just be a guess, you might find that a 550 that the best size is 36 by 34, but you might find for a 511, which is a slim fit, 550 is a relaxed fit, but you might find for a 511, which is a slim fit, you might find that the better size is like a 32 by 34. So it's, for me to just say, like, here are the top sizes to buy for Levi's, I just don't think that would be an accurate statement. I think it would be misleading as much as it's helpful, if that makes sense. You should check out Uptown Cheapskate in Clemson, South Carolina. It's a good drive for me. But why do you say specifically that one there? That would be like quite the drive for me to go to an Uptown. Size and inseam. Yeah, I hope that. I mean, I know that isn't the answer that you were looking for, but it's the honest answer. You're not going to find like one size that is the best for all the different models. How often do you find the performance Vineyard Vine shirts? Maybe like once or twice a month kind of thing. I'm not sure. I have one in stock right now, so I think. Let me just see. Vineyard Performance. Maybe once a month. I don't know. I don't have like a good figure for you. I have one listed and I've sold 8. But yeah, I honestly just don't know. Hi there from Montgomery. What's up? Vineyard Vines is having a big sale. Nice. All right. eBay orders, a couple left, and then we'll switch over to Poshmark. We got the only blazer of the weekend going out the door, and this one sold in one day. I have sold this exact pattern blazer from Joseph A. Bank, the same exact one, Joseph A. Bank. See the logo right there, and that little like blue checky pattern. I've now sold that same pattern at least 3 different times now, 3 that I can remember, and they all 3 of the times it sold really fast. So if you want, that's pretty good data. This one sold in one day, sold for best offer of $38, and I paid $7 for this, and it sold in a day. You can't really beat that. Selling in a day, bought for $7, sold for $38, and this is my 43rd Joseph A. Bank item to sell in 2026. After shipping and fees, eBay's got to pay me out $28.58. I paid $7, so $21.50 profit, and turned it around in one day. I haven't not even close to paying the credit card bill for that purchase, and I already got the profit in the bank account. So it's a perfect thing, using the bank's money to make money. $21 profit. Of course, I got my initial $7 back too, and $21 in profit. So now I got $28 to go out shopping this week, thanks to that sale. I can go buy 4 more blazers with that money and flip those. See how that works? Get that compounding. Super, super fast. In the door, out the door. Keep making money. Next up is an order for Max. This was not a fast sale, but they're not all fast. It's great when they are. This one took a year and a half to sell. I did buy like 5 of these, and this is the last one. So they didn't all take this long, but sometimes with retail, you just get one that kind of hangs out and doesn't go away. A clinger, and we got a clinger here. Men's size 32 by 32, Holderness and Bourne, Baxter corduroy pant right here. Corduroy is a little off-brand for Holderness and Bourne. Holderness and Bourne is like a golf and golf lifestyle kind of brand. I kind of knew that when I was picking up this particular pair of pants. I'm like, it's a little off-brand for Holderness. I still sold the other ones fairly quickly, but this one just hung around. But I tend to stick to more like golfy stuff for the polos, the golf pants, golf pullovers, Q zips, all that stuff. But it sold. It's going to Max. Max is in Atlanta, Georgia. Holderness and Bourne, I really like selling that brand. New, used. And Holderness is one of those brands. This is size 32. So some of you are probably saying, well, it's a small size. That's why it took a long time to sell. But I actually do well with Holderness in small sizes. It's one of those brands where I'll actually pick up a small, I'll pick up medium Holderness because they sell good. Just something about the demographic of that, their target market, whatever. It performs well. They're smaller people. They're probably younger, probably fitter. So smalls and mediums do well for me in Holderness. But like a lot with reselling, sometimes the unexplainable. It is the right size, good item. Still took a little while to sell, even though the other ones already sold a long, long time ago. You just have one that hangs around sometimes. It's unexplainable. Would I pick those up again? Yeah, probably. Because the other ones sold quick, but one just took a while. It just happens. It's a resale store with all big names. Poncho, Vineyard Vines, Untuckit, Brooks Brothers, and even more. $125, $200. They have like 4 rows of pants and shorts, like 40 suits. Nice, man. Yeah, I'm familiar with thank you. I'm familiar with the store, Uptown Cheapskate. It's a national chain. You got them at a lot of places. So yeah, I'm familiar. I was just curious why you were saying like that specific location in Clemson, because it's pretty it'll be a pretty good ride for me from Asheville, North Carolina. All dress shirts there are $9 and polos are $5. That's good pricing. That's good pricing. That's good pricing. But thank you for sharing. If it were like around the corner, I'd go there right now. But that one would take me a little while. Maybe if I'm in that neck of the woods, I'll stop through. But I don't get down there too often. All right, let's move on to some Poshmark orders. I'm going to close some freaking tabs here. What a mess. All right, that's a little bit more manageable. Let's knock out this Mercari order first. These shirts are pretty cool. So it's a Chubby's t-shirt. I picked it up. Well, you're not really going to be able to see it. But the Chubby's t-shirt, you can see it says Chubby's, but it also says skies out, thighs out in really big letters. Little T right here. This sold for $17.99. I think that's my full asking price on these. This sold on Mercari. I bought these like super cheap on clearance. They haven't sold very well, but I've sold a handful of them anyway. Very cool shirt. I actually sent one of these to a buddy of mine who likes to say that phrase, skies out, thighs out. I just surprised him with one of these in the mail. Little t-shirt piece. And that is right here. This is going to Lillington, North Carolina. Going to a fellow North Carolinian. Skies out, thighs out. Be a good saying for today, that's for sure. It is a warm one. Next up is a Posh sale. We got another one of these bad birdies going out the door. Actually, I think this is the first one going out the door this weekend. It's been more of the good goods this weekend. But bad birdie, men's size medium, brand new with tags, retail $78. This one sold for best offer of $25. Again, I bought a bunch of these. I don't know, 60 of them or something like that. Back in February, retail clearance, stock up for the spring and summer, and they've been selling. And this one's going to Jamie. Thank you, Jamie, going to Tampa, Florida. I paid, I think, like $10 or $11 on average for these. And doesn't Uptown buy directly from consumer? Those are pretty cheap in numbers. Yeah, it's the same thing as like a Plato's Closet. It's a direct competitor and really like a similar format, right? Where you bring in your stuff and they'll look it over and they'll give you an offer and give you, a payout or store credit or whatever. But yeah, same kind of model. Next up is a Walter Hagen. And this is actually the second one that we sold over the weekend. We sold one on eBay. I already shipped that one out. This one's going out the door on Poshmark right here, $19. The other one was $18.99. So I paid $3 to $4 between $3 and $4 a piece for all of these. Got a bunch of them. 2 of them out the door this weekend. This is the time of year to new with tag golf polos. Every year I try to get a whole bunch of them in stock to carry me through like June and July, because they sell really well now. It's one of my best selling things, and actually today is like a great example of that, because we've shipped out a lot of these retail arbitrage, like new with tags, golf polos, and they tend to carry some sales through these what can be slower months for clothing resellers. This is probably like the 3rd year in a row where I've come into the spring or come into the summer, June, July, with just a really good supply of new tags polos that I bought back in the wintertime. And it's paying off like it has the last couple of years too. Got another poncho shirt going out the door. This one sold in less than a week. Best offer here, $55 on this. This is a men's size 2 extra large here. And I paid $5 at the thrift store. Flip it into $55. Kind of like the shirt that I'm wearing right now. I actually have this same shirt Yeah, I have the same shirt, like same colorway that I found at a thrift store, and I kept it for myself. But this one won't fit. So this is going to, what's it going to? It's going to Roman in Alex City, Alabama. Nice profit here. So Poshmark keeps 20% fees. So on that $55 sale, they're going to keep $11. So that's going to leave me with 44. I paid $5. So $39 profit on a short sleeve, button down nylon shirt. Nice shirt too. Sold 2 ponchos over the weekend. They were both size 2 extra large. Found them back to back, same thrift store, same rack. 1, 2. Obviously donated by the same person. One was a flannel. One was like this, like kind of outdoorsy, moisture wicking short sleeve. Next up is a Faraday shirt, brand new with tags. This is one of those things. I found this retail arbitrage back in January. It's a short sleeve linen shirt. You can see the retail is $158 from Faraday. It's called the Breeze, and it is a linen blend shirt right there. So when I was looking up comps in the middle of January for short sleeve linen blend Faraday shirts, you know, the sell-through rate didn't look good. The recent sale prices didn't look good because that was the middle of January. So I was looking at sale prices from January, from December, and from November. So I'm looking at like the last 90 days, which are all winter buying season stuff where people really aren't spending a lot of money on this type of shirt. So I'm looking at low sell-through rates and low average sale prices. But my gut told me that I would be able to get better prices than those once it warmed up. So, and that's kind of the risk that you have to take and the mindset that you have to have if you want to take advantage of retail arbitrage, because I'm not going to find these cheap in the middle of the, like, I'm not going to find these cheap in like April, or March, when it would be the best time to find them, like right when people are starting to buy this crap and they sell really, really hot. I'm not going to find them cheap then. I'm going to find them cheap in October, November, December, or January. So that's when you got to take advantage of that. So this one right here sold for full asking price $70. And this might be my last one from this actual model. It is, at least it's the last one in this size right here. So it's been a really good seller for me. And I'm gonna check right now how many I've actually sold. I paid between $20 and $25 a piece for these. So I paid up. This wasn't really cheap retail. Like some of it was there. So I think I've sold 12 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 11. Nope. So I've sold 10 of them, and I have how many in inventory? That's it. I'm out. I've sold all of the linen ones. So I had 10 of those, and I paid $20 to $25 a piece. And if I look back on the sales of them, that one was 70. The last one was 70. This one was 75. This one was 66, 64, 70, 63, 60, 58, 70. So my average sale price on those was probably like $68, maybe $67, and I sold 10 of them. So just some rough math there. We'll call it $67. Sold 10 of them. That's $670 in sales off of a shirt that I paid. We'll call it $23 a pop times 10. So that's $230. So let's just do this. 670 times, we'll just do like 20% fees. So that leaves me 536 minus 230, 306. So I made $306 off those 10 shirts. And I think it was either 2 or 3 different sizes. So just 2 or 3 listings, and just set the quantity to whatever they were. So it's pretty easy money there. And now I'm 100% sold out. The only thing I regret is that there wasn't more of them for me to buy. Probably feels scary for some of you to pay up and pay like $20 or $25 a shirt. But when I know that I can get 60 to 70, and actually some of them sold for $75 a shirt, even if I got to wait a few months, I don't mind, because that's good profit for not a lot of work. It's like good dollars per hour, because I didn't have to do a separate listing for every single shirt. I just had to do one listing for each size. So the amount of work is low. And obviously you see how fast it is to ship this stuff out. It just, even with me like sitting here flapping my gums, it takes me less than a minute to slap a shipping label on here and slide it into one of these poly mailers. So that's why I love that part of the business. I wish I could scale more of that because it's just, it's just from a dollars per hour perspective, it's really good. I don't really care about the ROI, like how much money I have invested. That's fine. I have a bank account that I've built up that allows me to go and invest in things off season so that I can sell them and make really good money on season. And if you don't have that, I encourage you to build that up so you can take advantage of opportunities like this. But for me, that's the best. That's better than finding. I mean, to me, that's $300 in profit from 3 SKUs. I'd rather do that than find, 3 items that each give me like a $40 profit or something like that. Those are bangers and those are cool finds, but I'd rather find those multi-quantity off-season items and just and list them and wait for them to sell on season and let them rip. That's my thought process, but everybody's got a different take on it. But for me, I value dollars per hour over like ROI. It's like how much profit can I make in my, we'll call it 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week, whatever you were. How much profit can I make with those hours is the most important thing for me. Both Province of Canada and New England Shirt Co. have good quality shirts made in Canada and USA, respectively. Thanks for sharing that. Do they have good resale value too? Appreciate you sharing that. Next up, another Poshmark sale. I don't buy a lot of Bonobos pants anymore, or Bonobos, or however you say it. But this one on the inside, if you look, it says Bonobos Golf. And so that golf line is specifically what I look for. I'll also buy some of their jeans. I'll also buy some of their corduroys. I buy certain things. But the Bonobos Golf is what it says on the inside of this one. And it's obviously like a moisture wicking kind of stretchy golf pant. This one sold for $26 on Poshmark. And I paid $5 for these at a thrift store. So Poshmark takes a 20% fee. So on the $26 sale, they're going to keep $5.20. So that's going to leave me with $20.80, and I paid $5. So I basically made $15 and change on the sale. And these pants took 23 days to sell. So pretty quick sale. Have not paid the credit card bill on that one yet either, and I already got the profit. So I got back my initial $5, and after shipping and fees, I also got what did I say? $16 or $15 and change in profit. So now I got another $20 to spend. And with that $20, now I can buy 4 pairs of pants this week. And then I can go flip those 4. You see how it works. Keep that money moving. Especially with a quicker sale, like 23 days like that. Using the bank's money, because I haven't paid them yet for that credit card bill. So I'm using their money. Now I get more, I use their money to get more money. And now I have more money to go buy more stuff. And again, I'll put that stuff on the credit card bill. And I'll pay that one like probably 30 days from now and so on and so forth. Next up is a J. Crew. And these are interesting. So I've been buying these J. Crew pants, and these are like a drawstring elastic waist pant right here. And my item title is J. Crew Stretch Chambray Dock Pants, men's 34 by 34. So nice, kind of like you can see that like chambray weave on that blue. $22 on these. These are cotton. I paid $5 for them. The linen ones have been selling well for me, like 25, 26, $27. But this is the first time I've picked up like the cotton ones. They kind of look like linen. They got that chambray look to them. Now that's what caught my eye. So I was like, oh, I'm going to give these a ride, give them a try. And they sold, I paid $5. They sold for $22. And let's see how quick they sold. I feel like I just grabbed these. Maybe. Oh, I'm not looking in the right place. That would help. These took 10 days to sell. I listed them on the 10th. They sold on the 20th. So 10 days to sell, 5 into 22. Poshmark's going to keep 10% of that $22, so they're going to keep $2.20. That's going to leave me with $19.80. I paid $5. I basically made $15.80. Plus, I got my $5 back, so now I got $20 to go back and buy stuff at the thrift store. I can buy 4 more pairs of pants, flip those, and I haven't paid the credit card bill yet. I'm going to put this in a bigger bag. And that's how any of you, you don't need a bigger eBay store or a bigger Poshmark closet in order to do this, but this is how you build it, right? And that's how you build up a bank account so that you can go and be aggressive and not worry about like big hauls or retail arbitrage or all that stuff, because you just keep flipping money into more money, flipping money into more money. So these are going to Peter and Forest Grove, Oregon. And that's going to wrap it up for today. Enjoyed hanging out with y'all. A lot of sales. So if you're just popping in or you missed the first part of this, remember all these lives are available as replay. So as soon as I turn this live off on YouTube and Facebook, you can rewatch this. You can fast forward through the boring, blabby stuff. You can rewind to the really good sales that you're like, hey, I want to get a second look at that one. So check that out. And if you are watching on the replay, I get back to all your questions and comments and all that too. So if you're watching the replay, just let me know. Write SHIP, SHIP, in the chat on the replay. That way I know that you're watching. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you had a good Father's Day and all that stuff. Hope you have a great week ahead. Just a reminder too, I mentioned it earlier in this live, but we did drop just now on this live, like an hour ago, officially launched our spring seasonal light roast. That's available on our website right now. We shipped out our first bag of it today, right here on this live. It is delicious. The coffee's from Guatemala. It's going to have this nice, lively, kind of bright flavor to it. Hint of blackberry, very subtle hint, but you're going to get this like hint of sweetness of blackberry. It's going to finish with toffee with a T. So a nice kind of like mellow, sweet finish to it. Really beautiful coffee, and it's just you could get the third bag of it. It just got roasted on Thursday. We were away for the weekend. I didn't have time to do an official launch, but just updated the website today. Just tasted it this morning for the first time and loved it. Just shipped out the first bag here on the live, or the second bag. We got the first one. So love to ship out the third bag to you. But you can check all that. The link is right there down below in the chat. It's also available in the description of this video, or you can go to chris@peak.com anytime to find our coffee. Check it out, read more about it. We do have 3 different roasts of coffee right here: a light roast, a medium roast, and a dark roast. The light roast is this one right here, the Peak Season. And we are launching the summer one because yesterday was the first day of summer. So second day of summer, get you some summertime coffee. Thanks for hanging out today. It's a lot more fun when I get to ship and talk to y'all than just hang out and talk to myself about all this stuff. I love talking shop, so I appreciate y'all being cool and talking shop with me. Again, awesome. Have an awesome week moving ahead. Hope you find some cool new stuff, maybe some brands that you never heard of before. And I hope you come back next Monday and tell me all about it. We'll go live again next Monday, sometime around noontime Eastern time, and I'll ship out all next weekend's orders, and we'll talk shop and all that stuff. So take care. We'll see you next time. Peace.